位来认识一下这位新队友。全新沉淀 CLA 李宁英雄联盟斗魂觉醒系列现已上市，上京东搜游戏台式机，游戏主机低至8折抢。我在场就是主场，莫兹利安为 LPL 奶硬口。全新 OPPO Find X8 系列夜景人像神器，夜拍超清晰，人像 MVP。TCL 全屋智慧家电，峡谷英雄敢为不凡。2025 LPL 官方指定家电产品，更受电竞用户喜欢的能量饮料，有能量当然占马。傲风电竞椅连续5年中国电竞椅销量第1，开一局吗？开就开，保护有度度，尽情开一局。感谢全场保护的杜蕾斯。酷睿 Ultra 200HX AI 高净游戏本，游戏本的6边形战士。
欢迎来到2025英雄联盟职业联赛季后赛，这里是深圳 NIP 主场，让我们有请 Top Esports Weibo Gaming Tap Tap。有请上单369 Breathe。打野卡纳比10。中单 Crab 小虎。下路 Jackie Love Light。辅助航 Crisp。
Welcome to LPL Playoffs, folks. Round 2 starting now.
2025 LPL 季后赛第4日将由滔博对阵 WBG Tap Tap， 比赛即将开始 ，LPL 无畏竞巅峰。
I don't think a lot of people expected Weibo to be here. 5-game series to knock anyone's legend down to the lower bracket. Top Esports, an easier series for them as they beat NIP in the last round. A little shaky, but still a win is a win. Hello, good morning, evening, afternoon, depending on your time zone. My name is Nymaera, and I'm soon to be joined by Initialise for our best of 5 series today. Fearless. Let's get ourselves into this draft in this series. I know this is LPL, but down one just locked in Kiana. That's very cool to know, John. Turns out we have a lot of very good Kiana players here in the LPL. And one of them is playing for Weibo. The other one is playing for Top Esports. That's Kanavi. We have potentially the 2 best Kiana players in the world right now in jungle for both of these teams. They're the 2 best I've seen on the current patch. God, do they know how to make a show out of it. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly take a break. We need to quickly get some stuff ready in the background. We'll be back for draft. Into draft we go, game 1. Sorry we're a little bit late on this, folks. Just have to get ourselves ready in the morning. First pick Kiana for Top Esports. Weibo on the other side responding. Top Esports trying to get some extra lockdown for that Kiana. That rise will really help.
It is something that Top Esports have done a few times before, that Kiana. Had a fantastic showing on it in the last series. Looking to rise alongside it as well. Trying to get as much to work with as they can. On the other side, of course, Weibo. Xiaohu back on that Aurora. He's been really, really damn good on it. The lock-in, the Yunara, and the Braum to go alongside.
Both these teams quite low range, it's worth noting. You know, you got the Braum on one side, Kiana, Rise, Alistair. Well, Rise is a little bit of range, but effectively one of the shorter range mages too. Just make stuff like that. Jarvan that was just banned more valuable. I actually wonder whether you even put the Aurora topside into certain matchups as well and get yourself something like a Galio could really work for Xiaohu. You can use that as double AP solo laners, could actually be quite impactful. I think also with the snap engagement Top Esports, you're looking for a little bit of defense for the Yunara too, so that would work double duty.
Like a bit of that jungle focus there from Top Esports. The Jarvan away from TN, and again, also the Kiana away from TN is worth noting. Actually thinking about it, he has been a Kiana enjoyer for many years.
Yeah. And you were saying that basically Top Esports were first picking the Kiana in certain drafts. This is, look, folks, this is game 1, Top Esports Weibo. I would argue that these two junglers are the best Kiana players in the world right now in Kanavi and Tien. They're the two best that I've seen. And having that first pick, that is a statement saying, we want it, and we are not letting you have it. Weibo looking for some of that defense. They are going to keep that Aurora into that mid lane. We were wondering potentially about a Galio, but they lock the Cassante, putting the Aurora mid lane. I think that's fine, and it just, again, gives you a bit of a buffer between the backline and the enemy divers.
And let's be real, Breeze Cassante, even when Weibo have been struggling, has just generally been very excellent, it has to be said. Looking for a number of other little bits here to go alongside it. Potentially there is a Gnar being hovered for 369, which has been a bit of a specialty for him. Did lock it in the last series into one of those tankier matchups, and he has kind of gone to it into Cassante fairly regularly.
And he does have a global to come into his lane. You're a split pusher now, you do well against that Cassante. The only time you really die is that when you just come out of Mega Gnar, he ends up getting a bop onto you to stop your hop from that with the Pathmaker. Last pick for Jaculov, MVP of regular season. An accolade which had escaped him for a very long time. I believe it's his first ever, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he'd ever gotten it before. But then you think about players like, you know, Knight, Scout, 369, Kanavi. There are so many great players in the LPL. Now, I believe Jaculov had finals MVPs before, but he never had the actual regular season MVP. I believe that's the first for him. Last pick of the Wukong for TM. I think that's, again, very important. Allows you to again, put that Cyclone as a blocker between frontline and backline. Let's get into it. Weibo. A little bit more range in their carries, I suppose, with the Rise being shorter range, but the Corki, I suppose, has a little bit more poke. Both teams, pretty large AoE damage, though, between the two of them. Tien, Kanavi has to be the matchup which I'm paying attention to. They have been so good in that first round. Tien, of course, out-jungling Tarzan to knock anyone's legend down to the lower bracket in a stunning 5-game series. Top Esports struggling a little bit versus NIP, but they were our regular season first place team. There is absolutely no underestimating Top Esports.
Kind of recalling a interview quote from the end of that last series from Weibo, where Xiaohu basically said that they got damn lucky and Crisp heard the footsteps.
No. I'll tell you what it was. It was the Rek'Sai hearing Crisp's footsteps and baiting his team into knowing he was in the brush. So it was actually the tremor sense which ended up working like that.
That would make some sense, yeah, okay.
So it's some cool stuff. That last pick onto Kyle on the other side of it, he got a little bit baited up. I think there was one person in the rush from the Rek'Sai Tremor Sense. Turns out there was all 5 of them, and that was what was needed to take them all the way to the Nexus. Now, Weibo, can they do it again? Massive underdogs here based on seeding. Did just beat our last split champions, though. Top Esports, a little stumble. Can Weibo make that into a full-fledged fall? We'll find out now. Let's get on to the Rift.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
Bit of an invade here. Jackie's going to have to flash at the level 1. Not necessarily what Top Esports were hoping for. Hung as well, also down double summoners. Very good level 1 now from Weibo. 3 summoners down before minions spawned in trade for just a heal on Crisp. Yeah, you'll take that. Too much else after that. Light and Crisp, though, in a great position now as a result of that level 1. Jackie with the barrier, and that's it in that bot lane. Wind Spike landing. Crisp been very accurate with those, and Crisp, a player we have been, I don't know, occasionally maligning. Off their tank play in particular has been really solid with range supports, the enchant supports in the past, was a big Thresh player. When it came down to those raw melee metas, which is never quite as dangerous, it felt like. Breathe. It's a bit of a nasty trade there from 369, who's got the Mega coming on through. I think as it is a Cassante with Doran's Shield and Biscuit and Pop, he's not actually all that scared.
Question, chat, about who won draft. Obviously, it's a very difficult thing to tell that at the best of times in pro player with teams which win with less good drafts because they're more comfortable with them. I think part of the thing which is worrying me about this draft is TN has a good early matchup against Kanavi. Yes, Kanavi has the Qiyana, which will scale very well and be a massive threat if he ever finds the backline, but the Wukong will beat the Qiyana up until, I'd say, about 1-2 items. Sometimes you can win around the level 6. But the Wukong very much deals with dueling the Qiyana very well. See right here, Tien bullying Kanavi off of his red buff, and that will be a successful buff steal. Tien takes his bot side camps, goes over to the other side of the rift, takes a camp, and will stick around his bot side to make sure that his bot lane is safe to crash in.
Worth noting again at the level 1 was a really good invade to get wards down on the Raptors. Got 3 summoners off Jackie and Hung with a Winter's Bite. Basically, it is literally just Jackie with a barrier left remaining. Chris burned the heal for it, but you're pretty happy about it, all things said and done. Now bot side though, looking to make their own play. Jackie and Hung punishing for the level 1 Kanavi coming on down with his own flash. He managed to get a lot of damage available to him with the Ixtal's Edge of Ixtal. Next to the one. Skarner has ruined my ability to get a Q out correctly.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Kanavi had a kill combo.
I agree.
The question is whether he'd be able to make it out alive. Tien, I think, will spot him heading into that brush. And remember, the Wukong actually deals with the Qiyana quite well at the early levels.
Get a lot of that armor off the passive, and his bot lane's backed. I think he could just be in danger here. Gets another W forwards, flash for flash, survives.
That red buff, really important. That's the one which Tien took away from his jungle. Stole away that red buff and uses it to bonk him over the head with it. Good flash away from Kanavi. Does keep him alive. I think if that was a quick key reset from Tien, essentially kills him. Not sure what the key cooldown was. Rather than too far off. Tien getting himself some power in this early matchup. And I'll tell you what, when Tien joined this Weibo roster, replacing it would have been Tarzan at that point, coming from last year, I thought, you know what, Tien might be able to do something special here, at least regionally. Now, we know that occasionally when it comes to finals and international events, Tien can sometimes have some issues. I will say, I don't think that was necessarily his problem within last year. I think there were a lot of people on the top esports team he was, of course, on. Tien for this year hasn't been that impressive for Weibo to the level which I thought, because we have such high expectations of him. But I will say, this playoffs run, if it starts with that kind of series he had versus AL, and he can have a good matchup here, he'll be really staking his claim again, and he'll be able to really remember how good he is regionally.
Tien finishing up his red buff. Kanavi was looking to see whether he could nab a camp away here, but I think Tien pretty astute with his reset into clear angle. And won't be able to find that. I will note, of course, that Kanavi did manage to pick up the Suntrap. We'll go to start his second clear off here just fine. So realistically, he's only down about a camp in the form of that.
I'm just correcting something in chat, by the way. Someone's saying that only finalists auto-qualified for Worlds, the rest have to play regionals. Worth noting that there will be another team which auto-qualifies through the second most points earned after the champion of the split. So basically, the winner of finals will go to Worlds. in this prep, and then it is the person with the most championship points behind that person who's also qualified. Then it's 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th fighting off from regionals. So that is the way that we qualify our 4 seeds for World TIF through LPL.
Always a massive gauntlet, especially if you don't just win the split. It is just a very significant journey required to make it to internationals. Why sometimes we have those all-important interests not quite being able to make it, the likes of Rookie and stuff, just falling short in those incredibly long mountains that you have to climb.
Roaming down the river there. I was a little bit worried that there'll be a realm wall coming through.
Well, same here, it has to be said. I'm going to find that angle. Light and Crisp being shoved in box side. Again, they were the ones with the early summer advantage, but been forced to burn Flash on Crisp and Light. A little bit rough, and now it is Top Esports with the summoner advantage. Hole was picked up by Light. Again, you will be able to scale up a bit better as the game goes on. But I think Light in general has been a player that has been, how do we say, struggling at points this year. He's not been as consistent as we were once praising him for. Has really struggled as the split has gone on to be the backline DPS threat that AD carries are oft required to be. On the Nymaera, down about 10 or so CS. Exactly the most auspicious start, but hey, you're into a Corki. You've certainly scaled just fine. See whether things can be stabilized as yet. Solid showing in their previous series, that 5-game drama-fueled affair that saw anyone's legend sent down to the lower bracket. Navi looking for an invade here onto the Eagle. He may be able to nap away a few of the smaller ones. Looking to smite as well. Does a good timing with that one. Gets a hold of the camp. I suppose that was a discrepancy early. Has got level 6. So does TN. Grub spawning. Jackie and Hung already on the reset will be here. Rise split pushing away on that bot side. Not at Mega. I suspect got a bar to be able to build here and does indeed start doing so. 369 beginning to get towards Mega. 1 grub taken. Jackie love Valkyries away. 369 building up some additional rage with the assistance of the Honey Crews. Looks like they'll just take the 1 and leave it at that. 369 needs to be a bit wary here about potentially being dragged all out through the wall, but hops well, won't get hit. Dragon also now available on the other side of the map, and resets if want to once again come on through. Navi again going towards the first strike on the Kiana. It is his rune of choice on the champion. No electrocutes to be seen here. Did see a Conqueror build the other week from Tien, actually. For a Conqueror, sort of Sundered Sky Shojin-y type build. Death Dance came in 3rd, that kind of vibe. A bit more of your loser style play where you get a few more autos down. This one, nope, all about early burst, early gold. Early smacks in the face. To get towards something like that Profane Hydra. Your upfront burst is pretty ridiculous. Making our into the wall on to breathe. 369 continuing to be as frustrating as possible. Trying to use the Mega Gnar where you can. There was always this window against Gnar where I want them to turn to Mini. Sante can look for the Flash W trades. Happen here, just managed to claim that plate. 3 goes wide. 1,000 gold lead here early on for Top Esports off good laning. Johanna managed to nab away that Raptor Scout. Got a grub before Top Weibo Sword came up on a little bit more force. Esports just said, yep, enough is enough. We're happy with the 1 grub and back away from it.
We need to keep an eye on these laning leads, really. Particularly that top lane matchup. The Gnar can take over, and 369 is a good player of the Gnar too. Breathe, a player who, you know, we have a lot to praise him for from his time on Weibo. This split, I think, it's been taken a little bit of a back step compared to what we've known him before. Potential fight on the top side cannot be found out by the Cyclones. Again, getting the Stream talent onto Breathe, but he's taken all out. They'll be taken down into the grave of Realm Wolves coming towards top side. The one kill for Weibo is good. Get the ultimate out of Cream. The quick one for none. Kanavi overstepping his safe bounds, found out by Tien. And Kanavi, yeah, not really able to escape there, even with his ultimate. Has the first item completed now. But the kill over towards Breathe, we're saying, well, we need to keep an eye on those individual lane matchups. Breathe getting gifted a full kill. It's definitely not what they want. Did I just say that it was Tien that used the supreme display of talents? Because I saw the Kiana. The last Kiana I cast was Tien. They were both right on top of each other. God, hopping in and out of the ring for some shopping arrived there. It's not do well for concentration, I tell you. Breathe, full Thornmail. Tier 2 boots from Nardo, very important. Normally it allows you to dodge Qs like that, weirdly. Kiana's keeping it towards topside, doesn't have the ult. Tien is up here, by the way. Profane Hydra available for Kanavi, misses the Ice Blade. Hung might come to save the play, though. What's he got in terms of his summon? Is Kanavi going low? It's a 2 versus 3. The clone might confuse you, as it might have confused over the side as well. Could Breathe, let's get the turnaround. The Mega Knot runs out, but 369 running out of the flash.
Oh, 369 needs to keep backing away. Got to the hop, but the bomb comes on down. Crushing blow is there, but Hung is around, so is Cream. Shahu back with the Between Worlds, though, as Cream needs to flash, but they start throwing out some Realm Warp Rune Prison things. But in goes Crisp, finds a wonderful angle with the Glacial Fissure, and Top Esports trapped under the turret. Concussive blows, good damage back. He gets one, can't quite get the second as the turret aggro is dropped.
4 for 2 in the top side. Breathe dies, Chris dies, but Cream, Kanavi, 369 and Hung all go down. Tien and Breathe, just monster Top Esports, and Weibo, they are shocking me in this playoffs. The team which I thought were going to be so far behind our top 4, take down anyone's legend, and here in game 1 versus Top Esports are making a real mess of their top side plans. Now 369 is up against the Thornmail of the Cassante very early on, and you think, okay, it's a decent trade, but I don't know whether Kiana's going to be able to get that kill. This is a 2v3. There's no Cyclone, there's no supreme display of talent, but somehow they end up making it work. The body block from the clone saving Breathe.
That's incredible stuff with Breathe. Finds a wonderful, wonderful pathmaker angle onto Kanavi. And again, Breathe, as you were saying, has not had the best split of his career. But let's be real, his Cassante has always been a thing of beauty. We're back to live in the picture-in-picture. You'll see the dragons being taken as then the roams up comes from Crypt, from Shahu, and they make it an advantage for them in numbers this time around. You know, credit to Cream for at least getting one on the way out, but he just can't get more than that.
There's also like something just very poetic about it being Crisp to take down Hung there as well. These teams switched supports this year. Crisp started on Top Esports, and he started on Weibo. Hung got benched from Weibo because he was playing so poorly. And then they switched Hung onto Top Esports. I was thinking, well, what the hell's going to happen there? And Chris went back to Weibo. It felt like it was, you know, trudging home, really. We were wondering, really, what the logic was and how the teams are going to play it out. I think Hung has actually been very, very good this split. But Chris, we know how good he can be at peak. He shows that today. Perhaps he can put a wrench into the plans of Top Esports, who, as we did say, finished first in regular season.
Could you imagine if Chris, benched from Top Esports, goes to Weibo, and Weibo go on this incredible run? Hung, after being maligned, not great on Weibo, let's be real, comes in Top Esports, gets himself all-pro first team alongside Jackie Love, who's, you know, season MVP. It's a great time for Top Esports, only to lose at an upper bracket to Weibo on a crazy run through playoffs. Oh boy, the memes would write themselves, wouldn't they? I'm not sure Jackie and Hung would ever recover. Now, though, it's Weibo who've managed to invert the goal lead. 1,000 for Top Esports, now become 1,000 for Weibo Gaming. Not like a done deal or anything yet, but Navi with 0-2-1. Not having the best start to the Kiana this time around, but maybe looking to mid might change that. Light needs to untargetable shadow away, but that's a decent enough shove back. Doesn't really lead to all that much, but it's a disengage.
Yet the shield ended up blocking the supreme display of talent, I believe, there, so I'm not sure the Kiana ult worked in the way that it did. Hexplate for the Yunara, by the way, first time I'm seeing that. I was thinking about that, thinking, oh, he's got a lot more HP. Steel caps and the Hexplate means that he is much harder to kill, actually, for this diving Kiana. And the ultimate, which is a lot of your mobility and damage, is up a lot more regularly as well. So we'll see if Light can make use of that. His art's actually in half cooldown already. Crazy at that rank 1. Harold is alive. We're probably going to see our first big group fight around it.
one ward banana, but which maybe would have been a decent teleport angle. All that much right now. The far side alteration comes on down to spot out a couple members, but Breed proving very frustrating in the front line. And I will note between the Cassante and the Braum, and even the Wukong to an extent, to a fair amount of early AD, just so that easy for top esports to cut through that to get towards key targets.
Yeah, even Xiaohu might go towards something like a Zonya's later, and at that point, top esports are going to face up against a lot of armor and a lot of HP. Normally with the Qiyana, you really want quite a squishy team to go into. Not sure it's going to be quite so easy this time. Cream hitting that top turret. We did see the grubs taken earlier. Split 2-1 in favor of Weibo, so Cream not going to have that much extra tower pushing potential.
Also note, by the way, Light has picked up steel caps, by the way.
I did mention that too.
It's just like even the Yunara's got armor. Topside turret. That potential bit of danger. Navi. That's the Ice Blade there, but Cream is getting chunked out by Xiaohu. She's got to back out enough to safety. There's the rest of the squad coming on up. Yunara up the river. Herald there.
Cream has teleport. The chunk onto him means that there's no dive onto Xiaohu. You don't have the Aurora on there. Can they shut down? Oh, well, they just kill the Herald before there's any sort of teleport in. I think they can. Top esports give up the contest. Xiaohu defending himself in topside. Good rotation by Chris as well to spot out the two behind the turret, which could have ganked Xiaohu.
EP's back in from both mid laners.
I swear if Weibo do it again. I'm seeing the gameplay. I'm seeing them genuinely contest top esports after beating anyone's legend in a series in the best of 5.
I know.
For the entirety of this split, it's pretty obvious we had a top 3 or 4, depending on how good BLG were. Of course, they slumped at the end, and we thought, well, what's going to happen with that? But realistically, we thought, okay, it's going to be IG, BLG, top esports, and anyone's legend, and everyone else is just not worth mentioning. Weibo beat anyone's legend. BLG have to reverse sweep JDG. Top esports have a hard time against NIP, actually, in some ways, too. The playoffs always have a way of tripping you up, but I didn't expect it to be to this extent with these teams involved.
Tap sign LPL playoffs, so not LPL regular season. It happens every summer split without fail.
Fell for it again award.
Yeah, just every time we come to playoffs, it's like, wait, Weibo have made a deep run? What? I feel like I've seen this storyline before. Wait, a major team has fumbled in playoffs? Say it ain't so. On repeat, you say?
To shreds, you say. And his wife? Oh, to shreds, you say.
BLG winning again, you say.
Dragons spawning now. We're going to see a contest. There is a Mega from 369. Top esports are in the area. They're moving towards the location. I suppose we could see a contest around here. We do have the Qiyana up. Has the Brutalizer on top of that Profane Hydra first. So in a strong point of power.
Pendulum around some Profane Nightmares. Around Wolf to get Cream into Danger. In goes Kanavi. Look for the 2 breakers. Blind can't quite get the smite fight. It's secured by TN. And the Spring plays out on the west. There's a flash on board for the Cyclone. TN can't actually get all that he wants either. 369 on the side. Throwing up Boomerang to Boomerang. In goes Hung. Gets a decent knock. But turn around with a good glacial fissure. Hung gonna go low. Throws down the Unbreakable Will, but will not survive. As Breed gets the footwork forward. Flash away from Jacula. Cream getting to work. On the other side, Kanavi breaks down the Aurora. But he's gonna be trapped in the enemy jungle. Won't be able to get all that much out to safety. 369 gonna build towards Mega. As Breed also going on low. Herald! Someone name them Grand! Last code in the dream, but he gets knocked out by the Herald! Squished flat as Road Rage continues. 369 has to flash TN looking for a Nimbus Strike. He might even be able to get there. He really wanted it and can't find it. Wonderful angle from TN.
Herald, I name thee Grand! Jacula gets battering rammed down to the ground. It wasn't even just the knockup. It straight up killed him. Splatter spree from Tien as he uses the Herald not only to get that kill, but also charge into that box head turret. Give a bit of DPS there, not the full charge. But Weibo, a fantastic fight for them. And top esports, we were worried, okay, well, what happens when these tanky members start to come online? Are they going to run out of damage? I feel like it's happening already. I feel like they're running out of damage. You saw that Kanavi used the ultimate a little bit loosely, trying to steal the dragon. Didn't have that then for the fight, and he struggled to cut down even the Aurora. Had to flash after them. Weibo cleaned up the pieces. Really good use of, the Yunara ultimate, of Tien's extra clones to keep chasing down the play. Now they're at 2 dragons. They've got themselves a grub lead, and they have a slight gold lead as well. Weibo are feeling confident.
They are. I've now started to get some second dimes coming in from top esports, and you look at, say, like Cream here. You've got the fully stacked Rower. He's beginning to do a bit more damage. Jackie's got the tier close to fully stacked once he gets there. Amura Mana, things maybe change around again, but for now, it starts with an attempt to steal 89 HP. It was TM that gets it. And then actually, at this point they could have disengaged. They didn't have to keep going, but they go.
Well, I think they lose the dragons and think, oh, bloody hell, we better get something out of this. But, you know, Light manages to hop back. He's got the Hex Plate running. Jacula gets run down by that too. And Kanavi has to invest so much into killing this. Tien finishes off his opposing number, hops in the Herald, and cuts down his old AD carry of Jacula as well. Look, Tien, folks, is back. Tien is back. He just beat Tarzan in a best of 5, rams Jacula down. This guy is on an incredible run right now, and it's great to see this great jungler regionally back.
Oh man, you just never know when this guy's going to turn up and be one of the best again. And I'm so glad it's happening here in the series. If he goes through Tarzan and then Kanavi in back-to-back series, that's a statement.
Yeah, there is no kind of more valid kind of jungle run than there would be for that between our top junglers in the LPL. Down to Kanavi and Tarzan, that is more than a statement. That is so much. Atacon now started by Weibo. Top East will have another chance to fight. Can they find a better fight than the last one? Atacon, we have known it's thrown plenty of games.
Navi got the Supreme Display of Talent up. Cream also looking to get some damage in and available between worlds come before. Hung with a wonderful help at Pulverize. Help turn things around. It's taken by Brawl. That's the Atacon in towards Weibo. Kanavi gets a kill overall onto Bree. Front line down. Tien also down. Cream doing a lot of work before he goes on. Another multi-man headbutt Pulverize. Jackie, Barrier, and Gatling gun rolling. 369 hopping on forward. The door comes up. Kanavi sealing the grass blade. Looking for more. Jackie goes Valkyrieing in. Can't land that edge of Ixtal. 369 nearly. The Mega has got no flash to work with, gets a slow onto Light, who doesn't have a flash, but they get out and trade in the end, 1 for 2, and get Atacon. Good for Weibo.
Weibo come ahead of that, you're absolutely right. And Top Esports, that's one of those fights they would have loved to really start to punish Weibo around, because the Shred is there to make these tanky members more squishy for their quite bursty composition. They can't make it work. They don't get a cross map either. They can't push in mid lane or on bot lane. So Top Esports, the Dragon, they could have chosen to not contest, they could have chosen to back off. They did neither, they lose out. The Atacon, they could have chosen to, you know, I suppose cross map as well, or fight. They choose to fight and they don't get much out of that either. They are not getting the most out of this, and sadly, hang on a second, fight in mid lane.
Chris teleported in and got caught out. You saw Kanavi running at him just before we went to the replay. They do get that kill. Massive Mega Blast Code. Supreme Display of Catalan keeps Kanavi alive as TM went looking for him. Xiaohu is dead because the jungler couldn't get in. And now I just have life from the turret. Remember, doesn't have the flash. The turret's still just about alive and causing enough trouble that they can't keep threatening Light.
There's 2 kills just before the Dragon comes up as well. Light does have the Hex Plates with us, not on that long a cooldown. It's not like a 20-second cooldown. Weibo, they just won the last 2 objective fights, but Top Esports have kept trying, and this time they find a great realm walk play. They can push in towards the mid lane turret, likely go towards the Dragon after.
Rune Prison lands onto Breathe, will not have a turret to go back to. That'll be foreclosure for his prison sentence. Hung potentially dangerous at the front line, can make his will unbreakable, gets pulled back with the unturbo strikes, may still die as Tien gets the Cyclone rolling. To Hung buys time, knocks Light away, but will die. Jackie doing a decent amount of work. The Pathmaker comes on forward. Breathe has to flash away, gets Rune Prison, goes on down. Tien doesn't have an ultimate. That flash was ill-advised, and he dies as well.
Weibo lose their heads in the mid lane trying to pick up scraps. They could have just calmed down themselves. And Top Esports now, after multiple times of trying, start picking things up.
Kanavi, Supreme Display of Talent, and he'll help get 2.
For all this game, we've been talking about Weibo, how they've taken better fights. Xiaohu going forward. This fight just doesn't stop. Xiaohu pulls the ultimate out, doesn't get that much done besides wave clear. For so much of this game, we've talked about Weibo because it's so exciting to see a team come out of nowhere and contest. But you forget the Top Esports finished first in regular season, and despite the fact that Tien out-jungled Kanavi early, Kanavi now at a 700 gold lead, 3, and 6, has 2 items and just blasted 2 members there in the enemy jungle. Top Esports clawing into a gold lead and get a Dragon away from Weibo.
That's a nearly 6,000 gold swing, basically off the last 3
LPL,
minutes.
baby. And Weibo just a little discoordinated. Things look great after the Atacon. They get picked off in mid lane, and they just don't know how to stop the bleeding. Top Esports, really well played for them to keep forcing fights over and over. You now have a 3-item, 2,000 gold lead Rise with a Void Staff in infantry. Just talked about that Kiana. 1,000 gold lead for the Na'Vi. You somewhat expect that in the individual matchup. But Weibo, they've fallen behind. 5,000 gold in the blink of an eye. How the hell did that happen? Top Esports know how to sink the dagger in just right into the chest. Weibo will now have to fight from a big gold deficit.
Take a breath, Baron Storm kills even, gold not, Atacon still Weibo Gaming, feats of strength. There's good stuff there still. It's not like it's completely over. But this was what Top Esports needed to get themselves back in the driver's seat, and it was a hell of a drive to take.
We didn't see the realm up beforehand we started this version of events. I would have quite liked to see that actually on the replay. And then, of course, what comes after that is you get the Hexblade running from Nymaera, and you think maybe she can turn around in DPS. Breathe makes a big mistake here. Misses the Q3, channels the W in the wrong direction. You can't change it after you started it. And that leaves Tienen completely out to dry as he goes in trying to save Breathe. Big miscommunications. I think Breathe, sadly for him, has not had the best run of form in this playoffs. Kanavi finds out the last two at the end, so you can make matters even worse. It is a huge amount of kills back-to-back going to Top Esports.
Great angle there, and the Kanavi 2-item Qiyana will still do a lot of work, it turns out, when you're given the opportunity to get a full combo off with all of that lethality. He's now got a third item himself, Edge of Night secured. Towards what will likely be the Serpent's Fang, has been his fourth item of choice pretty regularly. Breathe stepping on forwards as tank of choice. There's the picture-in-picture. Looks like it was an attempt to pick onto Chris, won't find it, and ends up accidentally ulting the Baron's hit ward and not the red off one.
Poppy will start in the Baron now, forcing Weibo to fight while they are behind. Half HP. I don't think Weibo are going to be here in time. Just going to completely destroy Top Esports. Great to take away from Vision. There are teleports coming in though. Secured Baron. The teleports come flying on board, but hung with a flash. Pulverize will knock 2 up. May well trade his life for this. On the other side, 369 trying to be the flanking angle, building up towards the Mega, but not there as yet. And now he's a bit split off. Has to flash away, gets frozen in place by the concussive blow. That's way too far, and he dies as well. Oh, miscoordination from Hung and the rest of his team. He goes in, but there is no follow-up. Xiao, who slaps the ultimate onto the back of the team, splits them up, and Weibo will at least take 2 of those Baron buffs immediately away. I'm really appreciating how both of these teams are ready to scrap even when it looks like one team is in a winning position. They back themselves to get something more than it. Makes a very entertaining gameplay, and Cream's forced to flash.
Cream does indeed flash. Tienen. Oh, but Kanavi says absolutely not. It's dragged all out, and actually will likely go down, does so. But Jackie gets value on the other side. He's in a 1v2, gets pulled back. Breathe will stand and deliver as he footworks and Topo strikes and flips Cream over his head, but he's got a Seraph shields to work with. Hung is TP'd back in, and Cream helps get a few himself.
It's absolute cinema! 4-man supreme display of talent! Gets Kanavi killed, but goddamn, I want to play that on the back of my eyelids when I sleep tonight. Top Esports find the fight. I'm not really sure that is completely the fight they wanted. Kanavi and Cream still die, but they managed to get everyone off of the side of Weibo, I think. Did Xiaohu live? I think he ended up doing so. He was not in the death chamber right now. And Top Esports will continue their Baron push. Hey, what a ridiculous ult. It hits 4 people, including Tien, around the back of it. It would have hit Cassante too, but he was channeling his W. That is a full team ultimate.
That's pretty damn impressive, and it costs so many health bars, bluntly, that even though Kanavi ends up dying for it, a worthy ult, and Breathe just doesn't have enough in the tank anymore. All the resists are gone, and Cream just gets to Gatling gun him.
That and the fact that Cream is actually absurdly fair.
Yeah, he is now.
And we, I think last series, a lot of the prevailing thoughts were Cream, well, he's on and off, and if you see him on majors, we don't like him right now. Give him some of his comfort champions, maybe not something like the Rise. And this time, he's actually worked out pretty damn well. 3,000 gold advantage. Xiao, who had some good moments in this game, but just hasn't had the punch behind the combo. Dragon now coming up in 30 seconds. Weibo would look to get their third. Top Esports their second.
Navi now shaping towards some more grass for that Edge of Vic style. Elemental Rock actually is the name of it when it's got an element attached, but Edge of Vic style is just a cooler name. So you know what? We're using Edge of Vic style. Just the way it is, guys.
Good. Dragon sporting now. Top Esports, of course, with a huge lead, 6,000. But Weibo did get a lot of shutdowns in that last play. Worth noting. Break a blast cone!
Well, that's not a bad angle. In, but 369 just get to hop away. And now actually Redemption comes on through, heals up at least one. 369 also traded back on. Kanavi looking for a particular angle. Does have the flash off Vision, but they won't quite find it. Meganar now going to time out.
Can Kanavi get another mega supreme display of talent? We don't know where he is. It's so scary playing against a champion out of Fog Boy. Not sure they saw him there.
No, they didn't. They do now.
Do now. There you go. So they know where he is. Dragon is alive. Top Esports willing to slow roll and wait for a better setup right now.
Right, looking to step on forwards, gets the Arc of Judgment. Will force Jackie to Valkyrie because that slow can be very dangerous at higher ranks. Breed gonna start getting chunked out there by 369 with the Hyper Procs, looking to build his way back up towards the Mega. Was nearly there actually, that flank angle. And a Mega Blast over from 369 can get very scary as the Dragon is taken before Weibo can find their way into the river with 369 too much of a threat on the flank.
Weibo choosing not to contest. I think you understand they have better positioning. Realm Warp used to make sure that the mid lane turret is completely defended, not going to get locked away from that turret. Weibo get nothing from this contest. They'll have to go back and just clear out their jungle. I suppose it's better than contesting and losing something. Not every LPL team has the same level of discretion all the time. Weibo gets some vision control. That's what they do get. Good vision control around mid lane. And they can play for quick picks. Now, if you do end up getting the Cyclone into the Braum, we have seen Hung, potentially even Cream, 369. They can get shut down if they look for a face check.
Cyrilda's picked up by Kanavi's Kiana. He's now at 4 items to match his mid laner. Quite sure it's going to be built by Jackie Love. He's got a BF sword in inventory. Might be something like the Infinity Edge. Could be something like the Bloodthirster, I suppose. Well, does tend to be the Infinity Edge for Corki, even though it doesn't have the most crit in the build. It's still very, very potent as a spike.
Yeah, it's just good stat stick, isn't it? Yeah. On the other side, you know, have we talked about Light's build yet?
No, we have not.
Okay, because he's got the Infinity Edge and the Hurricane. It's not going to be the, the Kraken or the Blade of the Ruin King, but given the amount of HP this gives and the utility it does, I don't mind the Hexblade first. I think it's, ever since the buff this item is really, really good. We've seen Light use the ult very liberally because of that. He's about to hit level 16. I will say I'm not convinced as Nymaera as a hyper carry. I think she's very good into the mid and the early late game. Once you get very late without having much lifesteal in her build and her self-heal being a little bit rough, I think she struggles compared to many other marksmen in the meta. But with this build, perhaps that changes. I'm not exactly sure how the Hexblade changes the equation late game, actually. I've thought of it as an early game item, but we'll see if that can add anything onto this particular playstyle.
Doesn't have the raw safety ability of, say, of Zeri. Doesn't have the range of a Jinx, and so ends up in this halfway house in terms of that ability to carry. Chris. Yeah, also in here. Again, eats 15% of his HP bar to Ixtal's impact. Edge of Ixtal, my day, Skarner. Why have you done this? I've been casting Skarner for years and not Kiana. Now I'm going to cast Skarner and call it the Edge of Ixtal when he goes in. Breathe is still very tanky here for the now. He's on 3.5 items.
He's closed the gold gap. We said it was 1,000 earlier. It's normally expect that to grow and grow as the game goes on. Yes, he's a level down on the Gnar, but being level 16, you have your max rank of your all out and into base stats as well. Like blown onto Navi with a well-placed Q from Crisp. Things slow down. Weibo, credit to them, not taking fights when they're not really in position to do so. I think they could have very easily lost the game by now.
Worth noting, by the way, Shahu just on that reset we saw in the picture dealing with 369 has just completed the death cap, so he's now at 3 items. That's a big one.
That is huge. We know Aurora is a silly champion, folks. Silly champion. Has a bit of percent pen from those boots as well. So hopefully able to cut through some of the magic resist like that Wit's End on the Gnar if that's your chosen target. Top esports on the other side. Well, we'll talk about this Cream Rise being so very, very powerful. Has himself a death cap himself, about to go in towards a full Zhonya's. And Kanavi has the Cyrildas as well. So we're at the point where we have late game everyone. The burst damage is very, very high. And even someone like the Cassante needs to be very, very careful. Only your W keeps you alive. What also is worth noting, with this amount of damage, your Baron damage is insane!
It's disappearing. TN is around, though, to get a bit of a flip here. Oh, Top Esports, are you sure? They know he's there now. He's gonna get the hit! What matters? A Scream display of talent stuns TN up, and they secure it. Fight Apple looks good. The Pulverize, solid, as Crisp is immediately dead. TN bounced around himself, nearly out, as a Valkyrie keeps Jackie Love alive, down to that Guardian Angel. But unfortunately, a second chance of life just leads to the same result. It'll be the Grey Screen for TN and another death for Weibo Gaming. Realm Warp to mid lane. They want to push now.
Do they have any minions, though, to finish off the game? There is a wave going behind them. Shotgun from Shahu gets the Seraph out of Cream, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to save the game. They are defending in a 4v2, and with Corki being this strong with so many items, I think if you jump forward a little too far, you're just going to lose the game. Teleport coming in from Cream now, who's regened his HP. Weibo, what you got? You got to wave close somehow.
20 seconds on double carries when flashing forwards, couldn't find it because of a rune prison. Now Braid is dead, breathing no more. They've killed off the Cassante. Valkyrie from Jackie Love to drop turret aggro. Cream goes golden, loses Jackie Love. That's your AD carry, but the Nexus turrets go down. Mega Gnar into the wall. They get the wall of after and blow up the Aurora. Body ramming goes splat as Top Esports win game 1. A supreme display of talent as a fireworks display at the last.
Ending the game at the Nexus with the Kiana ultimate. 1-0 in the series from Top Esports.
Oh man, well that was something, wasn't it? It was looking great for Top Esports, and then it really wasn't for a second or two. We saw some very good fights back and forth until all kind of fell apart around just after the Atakan, bluntly. We thought it was going to be enough, and it really, really wasn't. Gold lead swung, what was it, like a 6,000 gold swing?
I think something like that, yeah. After we saw, just after the Atakan, Weibo were actually in a very good spot, and then Top Esports took about 3 or 4 fights back to back, getting some really clutch kills. And despite all of our praise for Weibo in the early game, which I think actually was very notable, this is Top Esports. Top Esports can often fool you, but they are very good at finding the right fights in a game to get back into it.
Now at this point we find ourselves 1-0 up for Top Esports. Weibo Gaming, though, I think we have to call it out. This is not the regular season Weibo. It's not a team we write off and go, they're kind of one of those mid-tier teams. This playoffs Weibo, they're playing well. This was a good game apart from them. Tien looked scary early on. 4-0-4 on that Wukong was looking good. Xiaohu and Breathe also having pretty solid games at points there. And we'll see exactly how the rest of the series plays out, but I do think, actually, Weibo at least have a game in them.
We'll see. We'll see. That was a pretty good showing from them. You don't have to worry about something like the Kiana again. Now, you don't get to use it yourself, which is a problem. Weibo are a team which it's very hard to judge them from game to game because they're such an all-over-the-place team. This could be the best we see of them today. It could be the worst we see them today, and they stomp the rest of the series. That's the wonderful thing about them as we watch through these late game these stats. Has got well over 1,000 damage a minute from Cream. Cream was dunking on people in those fights.
Yeah, did a lot of work there. And again, for someone who got quite a lot of criticism for his last series, the Azir game in particular was not pretty. This was a much better showing. Looked very dangerous here. That's more like it. And again, it's not like the series last time was without bright spots for Cream. The Akali game, for example, was excellent. But we do need to see some more consistency from this guy who has been so close to genuinely elite for so many years. And every time we think we believe in him, it all falls apart.
Well, if you don't know who we are, folks, my name is Nymaera, this is Initialise. We are brothers, and we cast the LPL because there is no official broadcast anymore. No one is paid to cover this league, but we're professional broadcasters and we're professional casters, which means that we want to give you the same broadcast experience or as similar as we can with the resources that we have as well, particularly in such an important region, in such an important time of the year, given that we're going into our Worlds qualifying part of the year. Really hope that you find a place to watch LPL, and if you can, support us through this, because again, we're basically doing this as buskers, as on the street. We are I don't know, we're doing it for the love of the game, folks. If you can, just keep liking, commenting, subscribing, tell your friends that we're live, potentially even subscribe as well, all that kind of stuff. It makes a lot of difference to us. We're going to go watch through these highlights, we're going to chill out a bit in the background, and yeah, thanks for sticking with us.
Awesome highlight reel to be had here, I am sure, as this is the Atakan take that actually did go the way of Weibo Gaming, but this felt like, in some ways, the last truly bright spark from Weibo. Yeah, things started to fall apart a little bit from this, because that's when Chris went TPing back to mid, got caught, and things start going mighty wrong. It's a very good flash pulverize, actually, from Hung. We didn't quite get to see that because it was in the picture-in-picture. Getting both Light and Crew in that one. Supreme display of talent stops Tien's angle there with the Mega Blast Cone, leaves Xiaohu out to try a bit as well, and the attempted Spanish Inquisition moment from Weibo Gaming goes kind of wrong. They get inquisitorial themselves.
Oh, thank you so much for the prime there as well. Mishmatic makes a lot of difference to us. Okay, we're going to go on a quick break, and yeah, see you on the other side. We need to run some adverts as well. Shouldn't do that. Okay, do I play the horse game or not? Maybe, I don't know. I feel like people were not feeling the horse game last time. And we're into playoffs now, so we get a lot of people who are just not regular viewers of the stream. Maybe we just chill during the breaks. Freedom with player of the game from the Rise. Yeah, for the Umusume characters, there are only 2 of the characters in the game which are alive in real life now, which is Daiwa Scarlet and Goldship. They're the only 2 in terms of global. There are some which are released later, which are from like later eras. Because like a lot of the characters in Umusume were like racing in the 80s and 90s. It's not surprising because horses only really live to about 30 years old. Yeah, I think Augury passed in either was it 2010 or 2015? Yeah, Augury's been gone for a while. Most of them have. Yeah. Again, like they were running in like the 80s and 90s. They would, if they were alive now, they'd be like 150 in human years. I feel like you should start taking horse electrolytes for the true Umusume experience. Forgive me, but I'm probably not going to do that. I'm not sure I'm going to do that, Harold. I'm sorry.
好久不见。
关闭车窗，空调调到22度。
好的，都搞定了。你好，很高兴我们重新认识。
把生活玩出新意，
自由自在，灵感随行。
We got MVP.
用个性的方式画世界，让眼界。
Oh, you're finally gonna go to Yorkshire at the end of the month? Where are you going to?
让远在天边，近在眼前。
让每一刻精彩不再等待。
上京东搜游戏台式机，游戏主机低至8折抢。
Going to York. Oh, York is a beautiful city. There's a lot of Viking history there. Jarvik. It's an old Viking settlement. Or conquered by Vikings anyway. Oh, he's up there too. Cool. Nice. Good night, Blade.
第一轮收获到就是我们中期可能还有更多地方要处理的好吧。然后 BO5赛制我觉得挺好的，然后挺好的吧，就是可以玩到很多之前玩不到的英雄。卡牌的英雄就是4、5把的话可以选出来玩嘛，然后因为这时候好打他基本上都用完了嘛，这英雄强度就是还可以，就是主要是配合一个队伍玩的英雄嘛。微博打法风格算是比较激进吧，然后对上他们就需要多注意一下他们前期的进攻方面，算是比较缜密的吧。后面有地方就是自己要做的再好一点吧，然后就希望能进决赛吧。
Wait, DK took a game off T1? Wow. Actually kind of surprised at that. T1 trolled hard in game 1. I heard they weren't playing well in game 2 either, though. Out of interest, by the way, for those of you who are multi-region watchers as well. No, well, I mean, whatever. What's everyone's favorite series this year been? Oh yeah, if you're gonna have Yorkshire puddings, have gravy on them or something, yeah. Although Yorkshire puddings used to be a dessert as well. You could put jam in them. That's what my grandma used to have. As a treat. It's like a very, it was a very easily accessible way to get something like nice, you know, on a very low budget. I was asking people what their favorite series was this year. I'm gonna go for a quick break.
Go forth.
Reminded that we are technically on the camera scene.
That's fine. I'll turn my camera on briefly. Hello there. Weibo wins 3-1. Ooh, okay. Top Esports 3-1 from Casa with some different believers there. I see you in Nivea's chat. I mostly watch you guys in little LEC, so it's not got a huge one. Fair. That's very reasonable. General Hapgood. Hello there. I'm still very weird. I still want to know whether I would have pulled that board wipe too with your Scoot Swarm. I had 3, Brack. I had 3 in that deck, and I had like 7 bits of card draw available. All I needed was the Cyclonic Rift, man. All I needed. But that was for another time, another place. Always a pleasure. Having some fun times playing with members of chat and old friends. Lab buff incoming. Ooh. Simi, just a reminder, English if you don't mind. I know you're here all the time, so don't stress too much about it, but it just helps us moderate a little bit there. Sam, on a scale of 1 to Beryl, how excited are you to clock out of games and play 6 points? I'm pretty excited. But not as excited as I am for this draft right here, as I am contractually obligated to manage. Thank you, by the way, for Mishmatic for that resub. So, Weibo on blue side, they're banning the Azir, ironically away from Cream, but it's a very stable pick right now, alongside the Scion and the Ornn, 2 of those big frontline options. On the other side, Pantheon removed. Tien is a massive player of it, alongside the Poppy, alongside the Galio. Early skirmishes, early globals. Does leave the Talia up theoretically. Annie and Angle, of course, you don't have the Wukong as a pairing with it, and obviously, ironically, the Kiana, which was an option for top esports the last time we saw it. Wrote that in the wrong chat. Don't worry about it, Simi. Oh my god, you're in multiple chats at once. How could you? How could you? Orianna being considered. Jarvan being considered. Jarvan as well. So there is one of your OG Orianna combos. Throw the ball on top of Jarvan, who cataclysms, you shockwave. Everybody inside the circles has a horrible time. Going to live in England next week? I'll take notes. Oh, I've got some suggestions on places to visit and food to eat. Give us a heads up. We can help. Kai'Sa locked in for light. Dangerous pick combo already from Weibo. You land the first bit of CC and burst. Kai'Sa flies in. Someone dies. You see the idea of the draft already. Very potent early skirmishing. No Ori not combo though. Yes, but a lot more versatile for my money. Jarvan is a lot less one note than Nocturne, even if the one note from Nocturne is very strong. Crisp with a Nico. Kai'Sa Nico has been a very dangerous lane for a while. And your ability now to find those snap engages and have a lot of burst between a Nico, an Annie, and a Kai'Sa, very potent. Rumble made it through the ban phase, and so will be locked in for 369. It's been his carry of choice. Breathe, historically a very good carry himself. And Best is going to be banned away from him. I wonder whether it'll be a Gwen as well. I know she's kind of fallen off in priority a little bit, but she's still quite potent and a known matchup into the Rumble. There's the Xayah. Couple options here, really. Do need a bot lane to top esports. Need a jungle and top laner to Weibo Gaming. So they're getting rid of the Nocturne themselves for Tien. I think that makes some sense. There's another one of those dive burst pairings that would have been quite nasty to manage. Looking increasing like a Xin Zhao angle, probably. The Rel away from Hunk. The Xayah to deny the easy Xayah Rakan. You could, at this point, Lucian lane. You've got Jhin as an option, which Jackie does love. What else am I missing here? Sivir, also a possibility. Karma. Could be a Kate Karma angle to just get hard shove. I think the Sivir is probably most likely here. There's your AoE scaler. Between the spicy hot pot of Cataclysm, Shockwave, Equalizer, That's a nasty teamfight combo to begin with. Add in some additional AoE from your late game hyperscaling insurance of a Civet. Feeling alright here. Aatrox, another one of those early skirmishes. Lots of damage right now for Weibo Gaming. You just need probably a jungler with a little bit of CC or engage. You're right. Xin Zhao's probably not the worst option here, actually. We said it was likely going to come on through. Another diver to follow in with the Nico and the Kai'Sa, even the Aatrox. Karma locked in now. Move speed, early shove. That bot lane between Sivir AoE and Karma AoE is probably going to be fairly decisively top esports favored early on. Kind of got their skirmishing teamfight combo from topside. They got the scaling from Jackie, so Hun can afford the Karma for some early priority. Weibo, though, the 1 item mark, the level 6 mark, the early skirmishing here. Very scary, actually. First bit of CC lands, and everyone comes piling in from the woodwork. I think if top esports have a good early game, or manage to get through to mid-game without having fallen prey to the skirmishing prowess of Weibo's comp, she'd feel slightly advantaged here. The Weibo, again, that 1 item to 2 item mark, where you've got all that burst, all that pick, all that dive and flank from an Aatrox and a Poppy, from the Xin Zhao diving in, from the Kai'Sa pressing R. Very dangerous as well. There's not really all that much you can do to survive that for most members. Top esports. Let's up that volume and get ourselves ready for game number 2.
Sorry, I just left you completely alone for the draft. I was busy making an emoji.
Good for you. Was it a good emoji?
Sam, I made the LPL emoji, the LPL logo emoji, Sam, for my Discord server.
Excellent. What's also excellent? The Gyos. Let's listen in briefly. We'll get that to it again. So, as you can see, Alex, we have the spiciest of hot pots for top esports between Orianna, Jarvan, and Rumble.
Jesus, that's an AoE team fight.
And then they've locked in the Sivir for some ability to get some late game scaling. And then with the Karma last pick to guarantee some early priority somewhere between Karma and Sivir. I don't think a Kai'Sa and Nico realistically going to be able to out-shove the wave. They might be able to get some picks, but the shove is going to be harder to match. Whereas Weibo, I'm looking at it, I'm seeing lots of early skirmishing, lots of scary flanks and dive and all those kinds of things, but they really want that 1 item mark, those level 6 marks to stick.
The only person who's actually going to be able to play this game safely is the Xin Zhao.
Yeah.
Any one person who's caught out of position by top esports is going to get done. I'm really afraid for Weibo. I think TN needs to have the early game of his life here for them to have a good shot versus top esports, because you know, even the Aatrox, you normally think, oh, he can regen through things. No, he can't if he's CC'd and he dies. You know, if the Jarvan finds him, there's a shockwave after, he will die immediately. Now, Weibo, what they might do is try and trade in one member and say, okay, you can drop the ults in one person, can you do that on everyone?
But 5 carries, effectively, if you count the Nico.
Yeah, Nico can definitely do some damage too. I am really worried, though, that if Weibo aren't always in position to slap back, what we call it here in the LPL is full contact team fighting, where, much like in chess, when you lose a piece, you don't play defensively, you take a piece back. You try and do that, you trade evenly. If the Aatrox gets burst down, actually the Kai'Sa's going to fly in and maybe try and take out the Sivir. Or Xin Zhao will not go and attack the person who's on the Aatrox. He'll go behind them and go and attack their carries instead. That's what Weibo are going to have to show in this game. Top esports. I'm really quite fond of their composition, actually. There's a lot of damage to throw quite short notice.
Cathian Rain comes flying on through. Crisp is currently a ward.
Damn.
Is that a statement on intent, is it?
This is like the whole Bjergsen of 4 wards. It's happened again.
Been retired for a little while now as Bjergsen.
God, I think for a lot of people who started watching esports more regularly, there are some players which are no longer playing now, which are such hallmarks of the game.
Yeah.
Bjergsen, double lift. I mean, God, who is it for? I mean, you've got people like Uzi for the LPL, right?
Yeah.
Of course, he's so big for that. For stuff like the LCK, I would have said someone like Smeb, maybe?
Smeb, Prey.
Horn was there for years and years too. Oh, they have a gank here on bot side. Good route there.
Jackie's going to have to get a bit of a heal off alongside the cleanse, and that is a good route. So the double summon is down, potentially valuable. TN, though, now kind of traps himself, and that priority is giving them some opportunity. Jackie might be in danger. Flash away before the free talent strike can land, and that leaves TN in a horrible spot. Hyundai flashing away. The ricochets are good. Kanavi just about helped get the kill. Crisp is low. It's a 2 for 2.
It's a 2 for 2, but Kanavi will have summoners coming back up. The cooldown's coming back up. Flag drag missed. Could have flashed to confirm the knockup, but I think Light would have likely barried and flashed away. Kanavi, 2 kills from this early game. What were we saying? Tien needs to have the early game of his life. He's up against Kanavi. We talked about this in game 1. Tien had a great early game against him, and it's a sign of mastery here in the LPL to do that against the likes of Kanavi or Tarzan. You can't forget that it's Kanavi, though.
The other thing you can't forget, though, is look who got the kills for Weibo. Light 2-0 to start the game. Recurve Bow and Bakal. If you want this game to work, your Kai'Sa getting a lead sounds pretty good to me as well.
For sure, I think that the Kai'Sa getting gold is by no means a small thing. It's just I'm really afraid of the Xin Zhao's behind it. This is weirdly a case where, because it's the Xin Zhao not getting the value and the Jarvan that is, I actually think this works out in favor of top esports. Call me crazy, I know Kai'Sa with gold is terrifying, but I really think the Xin Zhao needs to be a force. I think there's a real discussion to be had with that. As we were saying, basically, the Xin Zhao has to be the one face checking. The Xin Zhao has to be the one kind of carrying a lot of the entry to these fights. If he is weak, Weibo lose a very important sort of setup around fights, which allows the Kai'Sa to fight in the first place.
Be the trick, won't it? And again, don't get me wrong, lots of flank angles, lots of pick and dive from Weibo. It's just about doing it without getting blasted. Caught off vision doing it. Exactly as you said, a real tank to work with. Small gold lead to Kanavi. Gold lead to Light as a result of the early plays. The gold lead as a result also stays dead even, basically.
Hey, TFC in chat. And also, by the way, folks, I know we do pay attention to our chats. Currently streaming in 3 places, as we've done for most of the year. We like to see your comments in there as well. Say hi to us, and occasionally we'll say hey back. And level 6 is being hit. Equalizer used by 369 to push out this wave. Breeze was hiding behind the wave, and he just goes out safely as well on the other side.
Level 6 will be here from this wave, so 369 going to trade in while he can. Does get a decent chunk there, and that wave is officially crashed, but Breeze will pick up that wave underneath the turret anyway. Crisp does take a bit of a nasty chunk there from the Soul Flare. Yes, I do know Karma's, all Karma's ability names.
As opposed to a solar flare.
That's true.
Yeah. Solar flares are cool. Very inconvenient though sometimes. You know, because they can send a bunch of subatomic particles into the trillions and trillions of trillions at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Large enough solar flare hits, it can, you know, destroy most electronics in the solar system. Most of which are here on Earth, I hear.
So they tell me.
Occasionally we
we're not on Mars, did you not know?
Well, we sent a lot of probes out there, you know. Even on Mass Effect, I probed Uranus.
So fun.
Yep.
That joke was important to be in the game.
Say it, bro. I'm not going to say it, Commander. Probing Uranus. We're children, Sam. We're children. Kanavi going towards his rebel.
I've not got Iron Maiden in my head because of that.
Which one?
Children of the...
Children of the Dark, is it?
Damned.
Damned, that's the one. I consider myself a bigger Iron Maiden fan than you, actually. How did I get them wrong? Oh, yeah. Good song, though. I made great band live. So
yeah.
Back in... God, I saw them 14 years ago in 2011.
How long ago was it?
Yeah, feels like a very long time ago. Chris getting caught out on the top side.
On to Kanavi means they don't actually get as much as they were necessarily hoping for. Kanavi has got a flash and a cataclysm. Light also down about half. Jackie trades well. Barrier was used there. And the ricochets will help clear out the wave. Not too much traded, but some summoners. I'll note heal to heal and Light's barrier as the ones that went down.
Gold lead has stayed about even since that early skirmish. Potentially have Rad landing on top side, 369. Rumble. And reminder folks that for a long time 369 was relegated to tank duty. Well, not that. He bore that proudly. He was a damn good tank player, and he still is. Back last year, he went back to top esports, and people remembered, oh god, he's a carry as well. bringing stuff back out like the Rumble again, and he was so powerful with it. We'll see what the impact he can have. Kanavi has level 6, Light has a flash, he has ult, but I don't know if he's going to survive. Dunk onto Crisp.
Crisp is down, that's the assist onto Sivir as well. Now, poor old Light has got a flash, an ult, and a dream. Will flash one. Damage still keeps going on towards ults again, but he's just got not enough to work with. They'll get the kills, and Jackie drops aggro. Second kill secured.
Yeah, Kanavi blows the flash looking for a cheeky knock-up, so he does lose the summoner, but Light blows his anyway, and his ult, and still dies. So, Kai'Sa down. Tian will go towards these grubs, but I'm getting very afraid for Weibo. 3-kill Jarvan. This Shinzao is going to really struggle to deal with this champion. Yes, he's ahead in terms of XP, and that is important, but Kanavi is running this game so far.
And it's not Kanavi alone. He's got Orianna behind him, a Rumble behind him. The Shockwave will come down onto Xiaohu Cream. And just to keep stepping away from the Tangle Barbs as Chris tried to read the backstep. Get it? Grub secured.
Dragon alive. We're going to see group up towards that. Jackie and Hung going back towards bot side of the map. Hung's Karma has been pretty good this split, you know?
Yeah.
Hung in general has been pretty good this split. I think he got himself the All-Pro first support. Very surprising for a player which we thought his career should realistically be over earlier in the year. Jackie Love has been friendly for reviving him. Flash forward. Light has no summoners, has no ults.
Soul Player and a little tether there from a focused resolve will get some good work. And backs away.
Flash down from Hung, but Light has to recall. He has to recall, and you were saying, yeah, there's not really much way for the Kai'Sa and the Nico to contest against Sivir Karma. Now, this isn't a bad lane. Nico's very good at support, but just Sivir Karma is disgustingly strong. We've been playing this ever since Season 5, folks. This was the SKT Bang Wolf lane, where they would just continually shove you in, continually give options to their team by controlling the map and then giving infinite move speed to the team with both ults, the Mantra Shield, and the On the Hunt going insanely fast for your team. And that's going to be a big worry for Weibo too. People have forgotten how powerful this combo can be. I remember it because I started watching much earlier than most people. I started watching a lot in 2015 as well. God, that was a powerful combo back then. Despite the power of the 2018 release of Kai'Sa, not exactly sure they can do that much better. They're actually behind in gold now, despite the fact that they picked those 2 kills up early.
This is nice trading well with Reed. Actually using the empowered auto attacks from being overheated. Welcome to breathe the danger zone with some really aggressive punches to the face.
But he is going to die here, most likely.
Dream.
We'll see.
Flash, stun, dead.
Jan gonna take a couple of tower shots, but not enough to take him down. There's going to be one more. And the Dragon secure for top esports on the other side of the map.
I have to apologise to Quick Shot. It should have been Flash Bear Slap, really, shouldn't it? After getting the Annie dropped on the face there. And they'll manage to get a couple plates and a nice swing back from Weibo, a necessary one.
Which game are you watching on your screen, sir?
T1 DK's on.
How's that going, sir?
It's 1-1 right now.
Very good. How's it going in Game 3, sir?
2-1 slight lead.
Dangerous in the slight lead.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty good at abusing those.
Baker's farming well on Akali versus Yone.
You know what? Yone, Tempest, who's like the big Yone main, says that Akali is one of the hardest matchups in the game for the Yone. Akali very, very strong against that champion. Kanavi going towards top side, does have the drone. Xiao, who just flashed to confirm that kill on the turret.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a very fed Jarvan.
Right in range for Flag and Dragon. Xiao, who might also be able to press Molten Shield and say, cool, my work here is done. Crispin Tien on their Gromp as Hong was looking to see whether he could help punish it. Can't quite. Went to go look and see whether he could inner flame the Gromp and can't quite.
I wonder whether Kanavi should have just instantly flagged Rad to get in range of the dunk before Xiao, who got on the turret. On the turret now. Clear out fine here. Jackal still managed to get some autos on turret. Herald in 3 minutes. Dragon in 4. A little bit of time to farm up lanes until that point. Weibo waiting, I suppose, until the Aatrox and the Kai'Sa both get online. Then they can start being their own individual threats. Weibo needs to be very careful about how many options they give Kanavi in the next few minutes, though. He's very, very strong at this just 1 item completed mark, and he's, at 3 kills. A little bit of gold ahead of Tien, decent amount. He's behind an XP, but he's so good at forcing plays onto Weibo. We must track him well.
While Jackie can get a shove in top. Good shove from Cream again. They don't have any grubs. That was traded out for the Dragon earlier. Get as many as they might like. Still good amount of plates coming their way, and the full court press is still pretty scary. Xiaohu's opportunity cost for the roam is an individual advantage being given to Cream.
Kanavi going to get the shield from Cream. He'll have the standard as well if he wants to get some attack speed. There you go. Xiaohu forced off here. Cream has the shockwave, so he could potentially even threaten a kill onto Xiaohu.
That's going to be 4 plates down. It's not going to be the whole turret, but you do not expect plates to be off of mid lane here. It's so heavily defended by every team in pro play. Understandably so. It's the most important tower in the game. Top Esports getting a lot of value from that. If they get Herald now, that's just a dead turret.
Really is. Crisp is in the river. Knavi actually a bit caught out here. Will flag and drag through the shins out. TP coming on in. Pop Blossom flash, but Chris now needs to run away. Gets outside of the renewal. TP in from Breathe, needs to slide across the wall. 369 with a potential equalizer angle. But Weibo Gaming get out of their own jungle from that.
Smell shield from Jackalope, by the way. Knavi still has the dunk, has flash, gets 2.
Oh, there's the double Cataclysm looking for the Shockwave combo. Crescent Guard buys some time as Knavi just about finds Shockwave, finally comes on through. And TM flash over the wall. But there's a boomerang blade to confirm. Flash trying to get the knock on the Breeze, but he turns around with his own flash and Darkin Blade. Now Breeze needs to try and break without backing away. Crisp on the flank angle. Light gets in with the killer instinct, but can't get the damage. He's looking for the infernal chase. Jackie in danger, flashing away. Ricochets are good, but the turret, the barrier from Light. Cream gets out alive. Hum doing his best to stay alive as Light burns out. Flash from 369 secures another.
Top Esports turn the Hide-Allow Hotpot into a Bide-Allow Weibo. Shoves him out the door. The spicy Hotpot goes insanely hard as Weibo can't foot the bill for that one. And they're shoved out on their faces.
Would be just about a win for Top Esports. I think it was a 4 for 3 if I did my math correctly, but it was a mess, make no mistake about it. We go all the way back here as Knavi starts off with the cap.
The initial double dunk is so good. The long range equalizer after TCN is stuck in the pit. No, it's not that much damage actually onto the Shinzao, but it just locks him in place and the burn keeps going after. Now, Top Esports going too far on this one because you've used your cooldowns. You removed 2 people from the fight very well. Maybe don't stick around into the Aatrox, who's got ult running after that point with so much healing. Breathe. He's not had a great split so far, I don't think. That was an awesome fight for him to at least make it even. Top Esports should have got so much. 369 still getting away with more kills though than him. Great damage numbers.
Really was. TN now with the rest of the squad, and those are those damage numbers we talked about. 369 was doing low damage numbers either. Cream though in danger, stun available. Here's the redemption, heals him back up. Has actually got quite a lot to work. Jackalope just gets free time on mid and turret goes down.
369 is doing the same on top lane. If they get 1 kill here, it's not enough. They need to get something more than that. And they're not even going to get that. Shockwave on 10.
Boy, there's the flag and the drag. The Crescent Guard though bounces Knavi to Nadia.
Just goes down. Knavi not enough follow-up. Didn't dunk in time either. Gets destroyed on the entry despite being so fed. The Jarvan goes down.
Breathe now in danger. They get the knock up on top of Hung and he goes down as well. That's not bad. A couple back. Breathe goes down to the turret though. And it ends up being a 2 for 1 on that little moment. But of course, Knavi beforehand will make that 3 overall and the turret.
3 for 1 and a turret versus 2 turrets. And of course, the 1 part of that trade as well. Top Esports, I mean, getting the 2 turrets is a hell of a lot of control of the map. Weibo getting the dragon, though, makes things a lot more palatable for them. With that in mind, actually, I think Weibo come away okay from this, weirdly. Normally, you'd say give up 2 turrets in any sort of trade is a trade down, but Weibo, a fair amount from this. They need to find a way, I think, into the Herald. If they get Herald, so they can put some pressure on mid lane turret and equalize things up in that lane, I think they're actually quite happy with things.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be pretty possible for Top Esports to defend that, and it wasn't. Really good Crescent Guard angle to just knock Knavi miles away, and then suddenly the defense of the turret got a lot harder.
Set up towards the Herald now coming in. We have our ultimate backup. No Shockwave just yet. No Tib is important. World Ender should be up in time to contest. That's on a fairly low cooldown. No Tibers could be a problem though.
5 seconds now to Cream on the Shockwave, so we'll be up. They start this Herald up, you would imagine. Cream going to be sent to deal with Breathe on the shove up there. Control ward is finally spotted. Breathe will clear that one out.
Okay, Herald started. Weibo would really like this. So they feel like they can do this without Tibbers though? I don't know. They're walking up a little late. They're not going to get the objective itself. Do they look for a fight afterwards?
Herald secured. Weibo do not
No, they don't look for the Herald or the fight afterwards as well. It's a little bit of Safari League of Legends where you look at the wildlife, nothing really happens. So speed away from Cream, had himself to phase rush. Move speed from the distance sees him out to safety. Now Hung's on the roam. Does he see Crisp around the corner? I don't think he does.
Comes on down. Hung will get a bit of a heal from it. Looks for a bit more value as the heal comes on trade. The equalizer will slow Crisp down, but just out of range to catch a couple extra members.
While this is happening, Teleport is now coming into mid lane because Light stayed to push that. Weibo, good job of disengaging in top side. I was wondering if they could turn it around for a full kill onto Hung, but it's a little dangerous to stick around into the Shockwave
and the Cataclysm don't necessarily want to overstay their welcome on the top side of the map. Light now has himself a second item. Credit to Weibo. They've actually managed to escape bits of these team fights against Top Esports. I think the start of a team fight is really scary from Top Esports. They can remove 2 people realistically with that AoE combo off the map. And that's before Sivir has scaled into the point where she'll just shred the rest of the team with the Ricochet. Top Esports have overchased a little too much at points though. Weibo have managed to claw things back to almost an even kill game. I didn't expect that, I have to say. And now we're at the point where Aatrox has a Moral Malmotion and a Voltaic Cycler Sword, so it's a decent damage. Doesn't have the Sundered Sky, I will note though, which is a little less healing. I wonder whether Breathe will rue that.
It does get the Cycle Sword, which is kind of, I don't know, I feel like we've seen it once or twice now coming back.
No, we have, but normally it's Sundered Sky into the Cycle Sword, yeah.
It's been one of those items which was never really truly meta for a while. There was that weird moment when Ambessa first released where people were wondering whether it should be a Cyclo Sword of user. It never really became the case, but that extra slow on auto can be pretty nasty here to work with, and you only kill one person with the combo. The flanks, the dive, the turnaround, still good from Weibo.
Herald being used on the bot lane turret, that will kill that fairly easily. Xiaohu backing off, he's not going to be in danger, but another tower to Top Esports, 3 turrets to 1. They have the future strength as well, by the way, by getting those towers down. A bunch of other stuff earlier, really. So they have that benefit in this game. Game slows down, and I will say, Weibo are one of those teams which are actually okay to trade things. They're okay to just say, look, we're going to give up something here, we'll find something later. On the whole, they've been one of our better LPL teams. With that, keep that in mind when the Atakan comes up later. Perhaps Weibo would be the team to say, actually, we do give this up. I mean, by the way, especially with one other thing in mind, they've picked up 26 flowers, by the way.
Yeah.
They can pick up another couple up there, but that means there aren't that many left on the map now. I think they should give up Herald and look for mid lane turret. Not Herald, the Atakan. Give up the Atakan, take the mid lane turret. You've already got the petals. Top Esports won't get that many from across the map.
That's very unusual to see that kind of discrepancy just from farming the down flowers.
Now, Atakan is available. Now, worth saying, if Weibo were to get it, they will get the 25% bonus if it's free for them. That's worth it for them. Breathe on top side as he spotted this 369. No, if Weibo can get themselves a free kill, maybe they feel like they can take this. But I don't think they should feel incentivized to just start it and go hell for leather. You can trade here because of the petals.
It is the elephant graveyard of the LPL. Everyone goes here to die. We've seen a lot of poor Atakan from LPL teams, and it has been a great catalyst of change more than once. Trapped in the Baron pit right now are Hung and Jackie. Jackie literally flashes out. That's really awkward. Breathe chunked out very low on the other side, has his more down. Gonna get the redemption to heal back up, and I feel like Top Esports may feel forced to start the Atakan.
Well, Weibo just lost a ton of HP. Breathe flashed and ulted and lost his more as well. Yes, Jackie Love lost the flash, but I think Weibo, with so low HP bars, probably do just give this up now. I don't think they should contest. Go mid. Push the turret instead. Let Top Esports have this. You shouldn't contest.
Xiaohu flashes, gets a disintegrate. Cream flashes in turn. Just about out to safety. Equalizer across so many members. Down to 1700 HP. It's taken by Konami. Pop Bottom is good. Light with the killer instinct. The Cataclysm comes on down and will at least help trade one back. It is Krista that is traded right now with Konami. 1-for-1. Atakan secured. Hung steps on forward with the Soul Flare. Looking for more damage onto Breathe, who's dark and blading, and Umbral dashes over the wall.
It's 1-for-1. Top Esports get themselves the Atakan. They do get themselves about 15 petals from it. I think Weibo should have just gone mid and tried to take that turret. With 3 grubs, they should be cross-mapping. Weibo, we were just saying it, they're one of the things which are more likely to give up an objective like this. I don't understand that contest. Top Esports, see them on it, let them hurt themselves on the Atakan itself, take their HP low, and then take the fight afterwards. We'll see this again, you know, Light is starting a little bit low HP, but realistically, you know, Tien being low on HP, and the Aatrox not really being a threat because it took so much damage earlier. That's the big problem here. The close smite fight goes up to 61 HP there, I believe it was. Konami ends up securing it. But it ends up being a 1-for-1 in the actual fight. And that's Top Esports feel okay with this.
Back to live we go. Second Dragon to Top Esports likely coming on through. No real contest on that one at all. Being a 2,000 gold lead, they did get that Atakan. You've got 2 items now on Jackie, who's got Infinity Edge second, by the way. Not the Flicker Blades, so just more raw damage. A little less on the cooldowns. Breathe, now potentially in danger. The Redemption to try and tag him for a little bit more. Breathe, we don't really know what to do. Blast Cone try and get damage onto Hung seems to be the decision so far. He's not doing a bad job of it, but can't finish off the kill. Top Esports secure a kill on the top laner of Weibo.
Blew the flash before Atakan, didn't have that to finish off the kill. Close then. Teleport from Xiaohu went top lane, and now they're cross-mapping. Use the 3 grubs, and they send Xiaohu top lane. He gets that down. Weibo do lose Breathe, and Breathe is an important part of their composition. It's no small thing to lose him. But I do wonder whether Weibo should have been cross-mapping just a little bit earlier. Good from the top esports to make sure that they're forcing the issue.
Oh, Grim spot spawn out just about okay. I genuinely thought that face check would have been his death. They can't quite find it.
A lot of Aegis build and Merc Treads is a little safer. Yeah, going to 3 people is scary. Rebirth stolen. Weibo splitting the map effectively. Can't be spotted.
Gonna try and flag and drag in. Does get a good catechism, flash it out. Light will be forced to ult away from that big old bowl. Does not want to be part of the hot pot. Heidi Lau says it's regards. Flag and drag to Kanavi will force Cliff back away and leaves TN out to dry, and they will fall as the trade.
Yeah, top esports find a good engage angle. Kanavi was found, but then he dunks down on Light. Black Cleaver burst is kind of insane with him in the sky. Light basically couldn't fight after that point, and top esports will move in and use the HP and the numbers advantage they have now to try and take back some territory. They don't have any growth, but, you know, did it. Fine Parrot Killer. They're going to attack speed with the W running. Top esports take it to mid lane in a turret. The shields will make sure they can do it even without the wave.
Success. Goes down, 4,000 gold lead. Just slowed down over the last couple of minutes since the Atakan's gone down. We've got a couple of minutes till the next dragon, so really it is right now. Top esports trying to hoover up as many resources as they can from the enemy jungle, get their waves flushed in, and just give Weibo Gaming as few options to find a pocket of control as they can.
369 has a really strong build at this point. It has the anti-heal and the magic resist shred, so Cream will do a little more. Yes, Cream does have Rod of Ages and Seras, weirdly. You don't normally see both of them on the Orianna, but
the Rise build,
it does mean that you have the double mana stacking, the mana scaling on AP, so it means that the Rod of Ages will give some more AP over towards the Seras. This used to be much more of a build back in, like, season, 6, even.
Yeah.
So you saw a lot of it from the likes of, Anivia. Anivia was the big one, really. Nidalee didn't go Seras and Rod of Ages. She used to go Rod of Ages in the jungle, but she never used to go both. We used to see some champions like Karthus and Anivia go towards it, and of course, they're the ones who still build it now, like, Cassiopeia as well, Rise. Those are the big ones which really go towards it. Baron's Nest one, top esports, they do have Karma Shields to tank it for forever. They have pretty decent damage on the Baron, actually, and they can tank it for a while because of that Karma.
They can. Very swift. Jaunt into the enemy jungle, get some water out. There's that one ward there in the river, which the observers are showing us, and one in the Atakan pit. Now, absent of its normal monster, which is giving Weibo Gaming knowledge of what's happening in the river, which is good news for them. Otherwise, things could have gotten interesting forced phase checks may have been required.
Throughout the first games we've seen in the series, the first 2, really have been reminded that despite the fact that top esports have had 1 or 2 less good moments, they are still a very good team at finding the correct fight to win a game. They will probably lose a big fight a game, actually. I mean, that's just the way that we've seen top esports. They're not a flawless team. But realistically, they're very good at finding the one fight which will win them the game, and that is why they've had such a good series score.
Where are we at now in terms of our game state, really? Has been a few minutes of quieter play. A minute or so until Soul Point for top esports. Are Weibo Gaming going to feel obligated to fight it? They do have 3 items on Light. Maybe that's all they really feel like they need. Actually, just threatening around the Baron instead. They're hiding out in that bush. Fnatic sends its regards. It's the clone from Nico sent forward. Vision control now from Weibo Gaming, trying to set up a trap of their own.
30 seconds till Dragon, if there is to be a trade of objectives. I suppose top esports will find slightly more value of getting their Dragon, so we get them towards Soul Point. I don't think Weibo can afford to give up the Baron. Hang on a sec, catch on the other side of the map. Hog's dead. Hog's dead. The problem with the Karma, you are so squishy. Instant death. Can they go towards the Baron and say, you can take the Dragon if you want. We'll take Baron, stabilize the game.
3 items on Light, pulled it out, and there it is. Managed to find the pick on the squishiest member, and that gives them license to start this up. 4v5 now, a requirement from top esports. Turn around for Chris. Double pop blossom. They get damage to flash away from Green, biting some time. Value from the Rod of Ages. Knock up on the Kanavi, who ain't that tanky. Shockwave flies down with a Breed, who does go down. And now Jackie, a 369 on a leash. The fire comes on forward. It's the South of America. barbecue from Texas. But wait, the Void Seekers, Light and Tien actually do a good job of trading back. It ends up being a 3-for-3.
Tien saves the fight by jumping in. It is a massacre with so many dead. I'm not sure Weibo can actually stay to take an objective. The surviving members of Top Esports both have teleports and Hung has respawned. Started with a great pick here, as I suppose Chris just gets the root over the wall. What happens? Is it just the root? Flash from Xiao here. All right, so they commit the summoner from the Annie. Makes a large difference though. No enchanter for the extra bit of mobility and the shielding. Very, very valuable. The fight messy after this point though. Jackie gets hit, but still got the cleanse, still got the ability to turn things around. And I think Breathe is really missing a Sundered Sky here. If he has a Sundered Sky, I think he can heal up just enough to make it worthwhile. Jumps in, can't get enough done. Breathe, his dive somewhat fails, leaving the rest of the team to clean up. Tien just about gets enough turnaround down if he'd like to see up again.
Yeah, Xiaohu with a really clutch stun there, meant that Jackie Love got taken low enough. And actually on the return to live, it's Weibo Gaming who just picked up the Baron.
Okay, by the way, folks, that's why we don't run replays over really important objectives. Top Esports choose to take the Dragon, Weibo take the Baron. I wonder if that's a mistake from Top Esports.
2.5 items for the side of Light, who has gone to 6-2-2. You've got 3 items for this Aatrox. You've got a Shojin now. It's a very high burst Aatrox. Nearly got a death cap in from this Annie, who's at NLR. Can't be miles up and get a decent amount of value here in the duration of the Baron. That'll be another item in for the Annie, and the burst from that gets stronger as well. I feel like Weibo Gaming are doing a good job of wrestling back into a game that we kind of wondered would be harder, not easier as the game went on for them.
Yeah, Weibo, they're at the point now where they can look for these split picks and fly forwards with the Kai'Sa. We were saying, look, Top Esports, realistically, they can force fights very well, and they scale incredibly well with the Sid. We've seen that last fight, even a 4v5, they arguably win that fight. Arguably. Top Esports, so much damage on the Sidra and the Rumble between the two of them. Got a point now where, Weibo can use the next few minutes to claw some gold back in the game, get to that death cap you highlighted before for the Annie. I think that's a big break point. We're getting to the point now where the Jarvan is going to find the game a lot harder to play. They are going to get towards a Guardian Angel. That's a very important point for them. Once they get that, they can play a little bit more on the knife's edge. Again, Top Esports, perhaps I misjudged the composition. Perhaps they do get burst out a little too quickly if they are the ones picked. Weibo might have a fighting chance here. Xiaohu caught out on a sideline potentially. And pulling off the play towards bot side though as he's spotted by Tien.
Yeah, worth noting as well. USS for Jackie Love, Mikhail's for Hung, and a cleanse for Jackie. That is triple cleanse to keep Jackie up and rolling. But the CC on the whole is cleansable CC. Not the knock-up from Tien or Breathe, but the majority of it is something that Mikhail's would be very valuable in. And Fellshield, of course.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to play around. Double shields from the Orianna and the Karma really going to help them stay alive, Kanavi. Have to be careful there, and is.
Problem is, of course, this Baron has not really earned them much in the way of structures, or even that much gold.
No.
Top Esports did get themselves Soul Point, and 2 minutes from now, Infernal Soul becomes a possibility for Top Esports.
Yeah, they really want to take this mid lane out of turret, but I think the threat of a Shockwave, the Cataclysm, they can't really just pile into a turret. Top Esports very happy to say, alright, you walk into us and we'll get the big AoE combo down. And you're absolutely right, it's not going to give them best positioning over the map or huge amounts of gold before the Soul spawns. That's why Top Esports chose to give up the Baron. They get themselves a better insurance policy for later into the game. It's like, okay, we can give up 2 dragons before they get a soul. The opportunity beyond that, we can take the next one. Weibo needs to stop us from doing that, or we pretty much win the game. Infernal Soul for a Rumble, a Sivir, Orianna, that is death.
Worth noting, a few key item completions just got done in Weibo Gaming. That is the 4th item for Light. More of Mount Morsh is fully completed. Death Gap for Xiaohu. GA for Tien. Those are big breakpoints and could change the way that these fights work out.
Yeah, that's a good call, actually. I hadn't seen that more just yet on Light. I mean, Light, he does have 6 kills. He's even in gold with Jackie Love. We were saying, there's a lot of ability to cleanse through CC on Jackie Love. You can't cleanse through all the damage, and yes, there are shields, but the later you get into the game, more those small mistakes can cost you anyway. Minute till Dragon now. GA for Kanavi, you talked about that being important. Perhaps he can then launch an incredible assault forwards. Cream, less damage on the Orion. It does worry me a little bit with the Rod of Ages and the Seraphs. He's harder to kill himself. I do wonder whether he'll have the same kind of threat onto Weibo with that slap back engage.
He maybe he just feels like actually surviving the upfront burst from Weibo. And in fairness, every champion's providing burst from Weibo. I can see the thought process here in terms of, look, I'm going to get jumped on repeatedly. How do I stop this from being death every time? This feels like the way to do it. That will matter. Whether that will come back to bite them in terms of the lack of damage, I don't know. You've got the Rumbles at 3 items. You've got the Sivir. You do have damage in this comp. It's just not really coming from the Orianna in terms of like a Ludens build or whatever.
Okay, 20 seconds now. Teleport behind them. Oh, baby. Huge double teleport. Both solo laners coming back in. They have the mobility, though. The Karma helps. And the pincer leads to nothing.
Good idea. Top Esports again. They've got the Karma, the Inspire, the Defiance. Get move speed to get out to safety.
Dragon up in 10 seconds now. 369 on a flying. Top Esports. They were here in this bot side of the map first. They have the vision control. They have more information to play with, which makes it much easier to play. But Breathe is on a flank.
He is indeed. They see him now. In goes the pop loss. It's not fantastic. Equalizer back. Very much is. Chris goes down. Tien loses his Guardian Angel, and unfortunately the wings are about to get plucked butterfly style. They'll press them in the ear, but don't worry about it, Weibo. Alongside a photo finish on the Infernal Soul.
Top Esports will claim the major objective. 369 though, caught on vision.
Try and flash away, takes a lot of damage. Light goes ulting forwards, can't get the kill. Breathe, can't finish it. He goes down now. Light split off. It's a good ult from across the wall from Xiaohu, but it's only really a disengage option as Jackie flashes on him and delivers a few more pizzas. What topping do you want, Xiaohu? Well, maybe the bear will be the one to answer that one. Clearly ordering for the kid. Xiaohu needs to back away. Gets himself a bit of a shield from the Molten Shield, but where do you run? The rest of the game is going very wrong. Hung's joining. Can maybe look to get towards a stun angle, but at this point, Jackie Love has got a spell shield and a dream. They clear the wave. Maybe just say, Xiaohu, you can live this time.
Xiaohu will live. Jackie Love doesn't want to walk up into a face of a 3-item stun from that champion. Weibo fail their engage on 2 fronts. Xiaohu misses his flash engage onto Cream, and then Chris only hits Kanavi, who has a GA. It means nothing. Weibo, they had a couple of opportunities to find a clutch engage, but Top Esports had set up that much better for the objective. It won't just be the Infernal, it'll be the Baron, and realistically, this is the end of the game. This will be the victory lap beyond this point. Weibo, I think they've run out of steam now.
Kai'Sa's on Raptors, Aatrox just respawned, Chris just respawned. It is gone. There's the replay of them all bouncing around. They can't find where the Addy is. In the end, it doesn't really matter all that much. What does matter is a decisive victory here for Top Esports. The trade of Baron for a soul point earlier, proving some dividends 5 minutes later.
Yeah, we were saying, well, maybe it was a mistake for Top Esports. We take that back now. Top Esports, credit to them. They justified that decision. Took 2 dragons back to back. A 3 Infernal Dragon Soul is obscenely broken with the amount of damage you already have on your team. The amount of AP and AD you're now scaling up with. Yeah, that's really fair with Legends. And I'm not sure that Weibo will survive through this Baron buff. I'm not sure at this point. I don't think they have the level of wave clear that Top Esports had to defend the last battle.
Xiaohu's on a flank angle potentially, but Jackie's got multiple cleanses to work with.
Pushing in mid lane, going in towards top lane as well, trying to sync up the waves, making sure that Weibo can't defend everywhere at once. Jackie Love will spell shield that Kai'Sa W, can stay safe, and again, ricochet the wave down.
At the very least, Tien, remember, no GA, for at least another couple minutes, was locked in that Infernal Soul scuffle. Tier 2 topside, next on the target. 369 already escorted the wave in. Breathe gonna get there. Cataclysm on Breathe, that's the flag, the drag. And Breathe is dragged straight down to hell. They'll get the kill, they'll get the turret.
Aatrox has just not achieved the value that they wanted from it. So
Kanavi goes to the flag and drag in. It's got a GA to work with. The Crescent Guard comes on down. And the GA is still there. Not required. Pop Blossom is decent, but there's no follow-up because the damage is too brutal. Jackie Love is throwing ricochets the size of houses. And the critical strikes have done critical damage to the base. Top Esports will take themselves to series points. Weibo Gaming desperately trying to clear the wave. Light, ulting, flashing, dying. Nothing more to be done as Light, like his namesake, is snuffed out. Out comes the standard and the Dragon Strike, more colloquially known as a flag and a drag. And Top Esports suck on the cigarette of victory.
Top Esports will go to 2-0. Weibo, they've had some decent moments in these games, but in the big fights, Top Esports have shown their caliber. So good around the big 5v fights in the games.
That was an interesting game, Al. I think we ended up with some more unusual game states than I was necessarily expecting there. Credit again to Weibo, who I feel did a decent job of contesting. It's 2 games back and forth where, yes, I think Top Esports have probably been the better team, but considering my opinion of Weibo coming into playoffs, they have been fighting well. They have now got a reverse sweep if they want to stay in the upper bracket. That would be no easy feat. But I think even if this is a 3-0, I don't think Weibo are to be looked down on too harshly.
I think these two games that we've seen have really shown just what happens when you go late game around objectives against Top Esports. Top Esports are probably the best objective-based team right now within the LPL. I would have said it was anyone's legend earlier in the year, particularly around Split 2. I don't think that's the case now. In fact, they lost against Weibo around stuff like the Atakan and some big moments when they were having to move around the map in late game. Is Top Esports now walking away with a 2-0? I don't think that they've ran out of picks or anything like that. I don't consider Top Esports to be a team that gets worse as the Fearless series goes on. So Weibo, they are really up against the wall now. I don't even know if they'll take a game at this point.
Yeah, and again, credit to Top Esports for justifying their decisions around objectives, I think, this game. They chose the Soul Point over the Baron. They managed the Baron shove really well. They had so many cleanses, and Jackie Love at that point had so much wave clear that the Baron couldn't even get a tier 1 mid lane. Just put in the Hoover that is a Sivir, and there's not a lot you can do. Somewhere out there, Teddy is nodding in approval from all those years ago.
And I'm really going to echo what the sentiment of TFC in chat as well. I'm really quite disappointed with how Breathe has been playing this split. I also think that in this game, the Aatrox was going way too deep, did not have the damage, and didn't buy off. It didn't really pay off, rather, the investment into this champion that they had in draft and what it needed to do. The Aatrox needed to be disruptive. It never really was. Basically, it's a free sack of gold for Jackulov every couple of fights.
We saw a couple upfront burst moments that look good, and how many times we see people slip away from the combo or it become a 1-for-1. There was that one fight around the blue buff where we thought, ooh, Aatrox, that gets scary, and then ever after that, it just didn't quite happen. You called out a lack of Sundered Sky, went for the upfront burst with the Voltaic Cyclosword, and the more we think about it, the more we go, not sure.
Okay, folks, well, we're going to go on a quick break. Thank you so much for watching here. My name is Alex, this is Sam. We're brothers, we cast the LPL. There is no official broadcast, so if you'd like to watch it in a more official casting style, come support us. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. There are plenty of ways we can do that. We'll drop some links in chat that you can click through, and it does help us if you do drop some money there, if you have the capability to do so. Again, we do this out of the love of our LPL community and the games and the teams and the players as well. We're going to go on a quick break. We'll watch through the highlights. And
absolutely.
Yeah. I need to put on an ad break as well, because I only got a few minutes on it. Do you need a break for anything?
I can be using the coffee.
Sure.
Do you want to go first?
I need to step up, because otherwise I'm going to pass wind, and it will be
stuck
in here with us.
Go do that.
Yeah, that would be bad for us.
Yeah, I've been to... Do we rate one of Jack? Jack is one of the best ADCs of all time. I think at this point you kind of have to, right? You know, he's been so successful and so dominant for so long. He's got to be up there. I think you're going to have Deft in that category. You're going to have Prey in that category. Who else are we missing here? Maybe an argument for someone like Aguma Yusi in a couple more years as well. Viper. Oh yeah, Viper. That's a good shout, actually, thinking about that one a bit more. This is the first time that I'm less happy with the choice of dress. Oh, wow, Qatari. Strong statement from you. There's the votes for MVP. Mostly for jungle. Kanavi did have a very good game on the Java. One for bot side, I can see that too. Do I agree? Yeah, he was pretty good. Very good Cataclysms. I think that's probably a fair shout. I wonder whether Jackie might get it because I thought he played a pretty good Civic game too.
OPPO Find X8 系列夜景人像神器，夜拍超清晰人像 MVP。
Hello. I shall go get myself coffee. Do you want some? Yeah, I gotta go though at some point. So I'm gonna friend too. Do you want the coffee regardless? Solve that issue.
So when we're in these breaks, the volume goes quite up, so I actually like put it down even further, just because if you are chatting, I just noticed some people saying before that we think they have as much. Yeah, honestly, folks, this is looking pretty dire for Weibo. Which then raises questions about, you know, Weibo beat AL. Is Top Esports just really that good? Are AL worse? Where does that leave Weibo?
22项调节，提供腰颈肩全方位支撑。上官方旗舰店搜傲风 G7。今晚碾压局，你的车。
就这样了吗？或者是
How's Down 1T1 going?
开局吗？
开就开。
Dude, I swear every game is just like, oh, this player played bad, they must be on their period, because of the fucking Weibo shit. Oh god, what a dumbass statement to make. The fact that it happened a week ago too and it only blew up now, that's also... I don't know. I don't know how that thing sits around on the internet as a highly visible player for so long. I just hope it doesn't, you know, well, I hope it leads to some more visibility for the women's scene. I missed game 1. I feel like Tian will play Kiana or Zed. Kiana was played in game 1. Absrock. And Kanavi was really good on it. So Nymaera, I know it's mid-game, but you may not have seen it, but Doran played Rumble, and I got Medjay's on Rumble. Cool, nice.
成功晋级了季后赛，然后今天打下来季后赛的第一轮的话，我觉得我们状态上。
Well, I do wonder whether Riot will step in about the FlyQuest thing, because that's just not acceptable.
我觉得 BO5 的魅力的话，就是。
And by the way, I do know that there's like a bunch of like other equivalences people are making towards like EWC and what have you. Oh, I need to run some habits.
可能。 就是跟着版本的变化来。
So I do understand there's like some inconsistency, I suppose, in terms of application of morals, but
WBG
yeah.
他们前期节奏挺快速效率的吧，然后他们往往前期能取得优势，我觉得注意一下他们中野的前期联动吧，还有就是较打野的gank，遇上他们的话，我觉得就是要注意前期。 要打好一点嘛，季后赛的方向的话，就是赢下每一场吧。自己的目标的话，肯定是希望能够进决赛，然后能够拿下冠军。
Okay, yeah, so folks, I'm not going to be able to finish the series myself because I had some plans for this afternoon. And it turns out I am actually allowed to have a social life, so I'm going to have to meet a friend. But yeah, Sam will be able to see this off. Tomorrow I have LEC meeting, which is normally on Wednesday, but today, for some reason this week it's on Thursday. I think it's because, yeah, it got moved for reasons, whatever. All good. So Sam, yeah. I have LEC meeting tomorrow, not today, by the way. So tomorrow is... That's on you, sorry. You okay with that? Although Sam's got a wedding to go to later, so I'll be covering a lot of the later playoffs by my lonesome. Well, Sam will be able to remote call in, but yeah. Hung was on LNG with Zeka. Zeka was on... Wait, was he on LNG or was he on BLG? I think Zeka was on BLG. Zika was on LNG with Hung. Yeah, so it was Zika was the... Or Tsuka. Tsuka. Can Weibo flip it? I don't know. I'm not sure they can. I think Top East was just so much better around objectives. I think Top East was by far the best objective play team within the LPL. Okay, into draft. Oh, we get the Star Wars music for this one. Alright, cool. Nice time transition from me too. Good job, me. Good job. Alrighty. So we're into game 4. We're starting to... Sorry, game 3. God, it feels like it should be game 4. Game 3. Picks start to get a little bit thin on the ground, but it's not too bad here. Now we wonder about what the first pick priorities are. Some of Cream's more staple picks been taken away, and yes, the Azir is a staple, even if we don't value it as much as something like the Akali, which is banned. That's the doorbell ring. I really hope Sam can get that. And now we wait. Pantheon and Talia both banned. What else is still available? The Varus no longer really a ban concern. Trundle might be, with all the tanks still available. Like, you still have stuff like Sion and Ornn. They're very powerful. Do you worry about the Trundle? Yeah, you worry about the Trundle with that. I wonder if that opens up for a Sion first pick, actually. There's Ambessa. Particularly for both these teams, Ambessa is pretty good. Do top esports want to let the Ambessa through and just go Sion anyway, or take that side of the matchup? Feels like it's okay playing Ambessa or the tank side of that matchup. Both teams can kind of play around. It's not too bad. The game doesn't fall apart by that matchup. Poppy banned away. Okay. A good Sam. Do you know what the doorbell was for?
Amazon, apparently.
Fair.
I don't know whether
I don't think I ordered anything, but I could be wrong. Sion first pick. Well, we were calling that out. Now 369 may go towards... there are a couple of things. You can go Yorick. You can go towards Ambassador, as you said before. They do lock in the Zyra Khan right now, but in terms of the top lane matchup, they can lock that out on 3. It's not like they're giving up more picks there. Now, NIP did play the Sion mid. I don't think Weibo are going to be playing that. That being said, Shabu did play through the tank mid meta of Season 8 and Season 7. What do they round out their first bans with? First picks. Ooh, top esports are the one team which do play the Kalista, really, and Weibo might pick it against them. Okay, Zyra Khan into the Kalista. Do you lock the Renata as well early on? Yeah, they do. Alright, Kalista Renata for Weibo going front to back. They need to stack early dragons for this. If you're going to win as Kalista Renata in the current meta, you need to stack early dragons. So many teams are not as good at doing that. This is going to be a lot about the early brawls, actually. Because if top esports manage to sneak an early dragon or get a good chunk on the bot lanes, they can't get early dragon, this game could actually fall apart quite well. Now, that top lane matchup, we did say a couple of things about, Ornn, just match the tank and go towards the Yorick. They were hovering over the Mordekaiser there, which 369 has occasionally played, actually. Kalista buff now. It had the AP ratio buff, so you can have extra value from the Rage Blade spike. One locked in for 369, and now they're banning out, the Morgana jungle. That is a thing. Technically, the Morgana is mid as well. Shahu did play that versus anyone's legend, and lost in game 4. It was not a particularly good game from anyone involved there, really, from Weibo. I'd love to see Jackie getting another world's title. He's had a great year on a regional level, Jackie. He has. Zed banned away from Kanavi. Saying there's been some mind games played a little bit, where we were wondering about what was going to happen with the tank top lane. Zyra Khan came in on 1-2, and the Kalista Renata is a rare pick-in for other teams than top esports, because top esports is really the one team which do play it more commonly. And it's the AP jungle / mid which are being banned away from top esports. Technically, both of those are flex picks between Tien and Shahu, the Silas and the Morgana.
Very much on a Zed, of course, is very much a Kanavi ban right now. Though, ironically, of course, Cream is an assassin mid player, so who the hell knows at this point in the LPL? It feels like people have been pulling out all the spicy picks they've been saving. With the Maokai banned away, it is kind of been about the place as a potential sort of pseudo-AP engage option with a bit of flex potential. In theory now, when you've already got the Rakan, already got the Ornn, it's not the worst idea here, and Kanavi, when Neferi was first reworked, was an absolute terror on the dog.
Oh, he was the best player in the world, I think.
Oh,
I think
he was
the best player
so good.
He locks it in. Him and Tarzan were both insanely good at that pick. So you see the jungle matchup, you see it's the Neferi. No Poppy, that was banned away in the first round, so you don't have as much anti-dash. Has Talia been played yet?
Banned.
It's been banned, so that was not available. So just trying to get other anti-dash champions. Maybe, look, Viant and Neferi is a fun matchup. I will say I think it's Neferi-centric, but you can just, and you do, you then have to go to a Zyra ult as well. Are you sure, Tien?
And then Ornn as well. I mean, you are very shy on AD options. But I think, honestly, you've already got, then you're going to end up with just Kalista and Sion as your AD threats.
I wonder if you had to go swing like Sejuani Yone instead, even if it's full AD. I don't know.
It's tough, it's tough, it's tough.
The problem is now, you're now playing a Vi Ahri into a Neferi W, into a Xayah ult, into an Ornn going unstoppable, and there's still last pick for Cream. Galio is fine, Lissandra is fine. Either of those options are actually very, very good. That one's actually a little bit more risky. We'll see what Cream feels like he can play into the enemy team conk.
Goes towards the Galio, and that suddenly gets increasingly hard. You dive poorly here, and you are charging into the guns here. It is light brigade time for TN. We saw it a little bit yesterday from Invictus Gaming, actually, where they tried to run the Vi, and there was just a lot of tools to make the life absolutely hellish.
My call is, whoever gets the first well, if Top Esports, rather, get the first dragon, I think they win the game. You cannot afford to give up probably first 2 dragons for Weibo.
Yeah.
You need to take them.
Yeah.
This really is a 1 to 2 item spiking composition that must get an objective lead to then roll into a soul point win condition. Top Esports, they're fine lanes. The Ornn is fine versus the Sion, and 369 is fantastic on it. Galio is fine versus the Ari, the Zyrakan is fine versus the Kalista Renata as well, and Neferi is fine versus the Vi. If Weibo give up dragons early, I don't trust them enough in later game objective fights to cleanly win
this
them.
comp as well.
They must get objective leads, and that is a worry because Top Esports aren't the best objective playing team in the entirety of China. Weibo, 1 game away of getting knocked down to the lower bracket. Perhaps they should have, a lot of people predicted them to be there already. They knocked down anyone's legend. They deserve to be here up here against Top Esports, but Top Esports are no small foe to face, leaning through the series so far.
Once upon a time, Light and Crisp were one of the very best Kalista Renata lanes in the world. Kalista in general has collapsed away from meta for the longest time. Pro players and teams were absolutely adamant that she could still be played, that she was ban-worthy. It has just not been a thing for a long, long time.
And for the record, folks, I saw this in chat. I didn't quite realize this. This is Cream's first ever Galio game. He's never played it before. It's good for the draft. Is it good for him? Let's see how the Gyos and see if he's got another bow to his string. Either row. Either row.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
Behold, choo-choo on. Choo-choo. You know how else we get some choo-choos in chat, guys?
By subscribing.
By subscribing, guys. That's it. We've got a train conductor on. It's a hype game. We could have a hype train as well, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even going to apologize for that one.
I didn't think you were going to. So I'm not going to lie. I didn't think you were going to. Gosh.
So, we now find ourselves with an all-important early game for Weibo. I think Alex managed to put some very solid markers for success or failure on the board there. Early game, objective control, particularly around those dragons, is going to be paramount. Otherwise, team fights aren't going to get easy. The whole point of your comp ain't going to get easy. You need that snowball to work fine. You need that objective snowball to work fine, or a comp that would have been amazing, say this time last year, will really not be anymore. But early heal, and Chris gets a huge amount of damage onto Hung with Light.
We were saying that the Zyrakan is okay versus the Kalista Renata. You've got enough poke from your various Qs to make it through, but you can't get the full brawl rolling. That's where the Renata and the Kalista start to tear into you, and that's now going to be bot side control for Weibo. That might give a plan over to Tien. Tien started this series pretty well with the early game of Game 1. Game 2, things got a little bit more rough, even with the crazy early play of bot side working towards Kanavi. Tien fought back okay, actually, at points on the Jin Zhao. I actually think Tien's been on good form for this playoff. I've been really enjoying watching him play.
Me too.
He's a player which I have a lot of respect for, actually, when he is on form. I do wonder now, with the bot lane lead, and with a chance to make a play work with the Vi early, whether he can go and do something fun in the enemy jungle. Hung's recalled early, will be down on XP. There's lightly Chris crash in the way. Tien is not going onto the other side of the map, though. He's going through a full clear. They can look for an early reset instead. I wonder if that's a missed opportunity. I wonder whether they should have gone for some shenanigans in the enemy jungle instead. They've chosen not to.
We just don't trust the fact that Hung coming back with the resets and HP bars could have been a bit too challenging to manage, but Hung is now back in lane. CSD hasn't really manifested either. Jackie very clean in farming under that turret. That's good use for him. Tien is now bot side, but so worth noting is Kanavi, who is waiting to see what happens with this Scuttle Crab. He's going to try and wrap around here potentially and make this a bit of a fight.
Okay, so level 4 to level 4. W used onto the Q.
so it comes on down, but the Conqueror stack from Kanavi makes that interesting. The denting blows and the denting force will make that a bit tricky in terms of clearing out a lot of those dogs. The Justice Punch charge interrupted by a good charm there from Xiaohu.
It was, and then the smite was used by Tian, recalling on the bot side, gets the bot scuttle, gives a little bit more safety to Light and Crisp. Xiaohu on his Ahri. Xiaohu, I think in 2022, was one of the best Ahri players in the world. He was always very good at playing it as more of the utility engage style, and then he actually transitioned into 2023 being a very good slow burn Ahri player. I wouldn't say he's necessarily the best, you know, burst assassin player of the champion, but he's very good at finding those tricky angles and then being a person who uses the HP as a resource on it. Of course, played it in the 2023 World Finals, so low success sadly for him, but played at the highest levels. Jump forward to the bot lane now, Light and Crisp trying to punish Jack in Hunt.
Still that potential rend angle. Actually, Kanavi coming on over, wants to try and get the smite on that one. Just had the reset, but T8 picking up with his own smite, and Kanavi can't get the steal he was looking for down.
Okay, so Kanavi, little bit behind, I suppose, but it's a good look for him into the enemy jungle. Not going to be... Cream being stuck in the turret there. That would have been really dangerous, actually. Xiaohu will finally get his first back of the game in. Didn't quite get that as early as Cream, so we'll see what he ends up buying. Please buy Dark Seal. Xiaohu's not always the best person at doing that. He's not really a Dark Seal lover. Will he prove me wrong?
Cream is.
Prove me wrong. There we go! Oh, thank God. I've once saw Xiaohu get a triple kill in about 7 minutes with 2 amp tones in inventory, and I'm like, my dude, you could have been so much more strong than this. That's one of the games which I used to kind of demonstrate, and then he went on to lose that game.
Oh, God.
And he missed out on a lot of very clutch kind of close assassinations. It's one of the games which I go back to occasionally just to highlight. If you're playing Ahri, you need to snowball. By the way, there's an item which is really good for you that can allow you to do that. So now you've got that in inventory, both mid laners do, and you're looking to see if you can leverage off those first fights.
Very much so. Light clears out that wave bot side. Still going to need a little here to see what goes on, but that first dragon you were saying was a very important indicator.
Yes.
Has gone down the way of Weibo Gaming.
Very true. That is the first indicator, really. Now, if Weibo lose early dragons, they're in trouble. Now, just because they get them doesn't mean they will win. I'm not going to say that, but this does mean that the first indicator for this game
the death flags have been avoided.
Yeah, for sure. It was one of the reasons why Callisto had low win rates, that you need these things to happen, and it doesn't even guarantee you winning on the other side, really. It's just that one of your best win conditions is playing around that. Breathe might ult towards that bot side turret as the wave crashes in, but no obligation to do so.
Another train.
Yeah, true. Crazy. Good trade there. The tree damage coming through. And yes, I really want to point out in chat as well, a completely correct comment made by Habs Rock over in Onivia's chat. Crisp is a very famous Renata player. Now, I do think he's been struggling this split. That Hung has been better than him. I think that top esports have benefited from the support trade. They have been winning that so far. Crisp is a very good Renata, though. And if he is going to mount his own statement game, this might be the champion he does it on. He was, once upon a time, perhaps the best Renata in the LPL for a brief point in time.
Not even joking. I was going to go on a very similar narrative bent to you when the opportunity presented itself, so I'm so glad you're on the same page with me, because you're right. I was going to say, not just the LPL, I think he's probably at one point top 3 Renata in the world. Him, Carrier, and I think who else it might be. Maybe on form the likes of Aduro or something with wants doing a lot of work there. The pairings in general, that's just a lot of damage back onto Breathe. Gets a decimating smash angle. There is no further pull. The healing is good enough from the pots and the Doran's shield to get out alive.
It's the damn cookies, man. He's got 3 of them in inventory. Pops one and goes, yeah, okay, that's enough of a snack for the road. Starting with some of the best based HP regen in the game too means that it's a lot safer than I thought he'd be.
He's looking a little bit worse for wear, but Jack Human Love runs out of cooldowns, and the feathers don't quite have enough to bring down the lumberjack. Look, what can you say? Look, you've had this big old lumberjack come into your forest. There's a pair of birds here. It's gone. How dare you try and cut down my home? It's very rude of you. Squawk, squawk. Chirp, chirp.
That was very good stuff.
Taste my feathers, cutter.
That's a Tenacious D.
Yeah, it is.
Right, yeah. I feel like we're getting to the point where a lot of people will start forgetting Tenacious D references. They were a little bit niche at points anyway. Now, a couple of years removed. Scrubs started by Top Esports. Were started by Weibo. They took the first one. Next
Jackie.
two.
Oh,
Jackie.
Oh, does get the Feather Storm off, but that means there'll be a cease and desist angle. Xiao who's lurking. Body block. Hero's entrance. Xiao needs to get back over the wall, but that's Cream out in alone. He got his ultimate interrupted, and Jackie got no mana. In comes Sion and chops down the tree eventually. They lose both bot laners and the mid laner and the jungler. Weibo, 4 for none.
The early fights for Weibo are so crucial, and they pick up one which gives them almost all of the enemy team. They will get the 2 grubs, not Top Esports. The Kalista has 2 kills. The Sion has 2 kills too, which could be a huge issue in the future. And Top Esports, I mean, you can't afford to walk up here as a half HP Xayah and expect things to go well. Way too close to that brush. You don't have nearly enough HP to walk up like that. Reaction's not quite on point for the ult either. And even with Hung, with good reactionary play to save Jackie Love, you are fighting from such a HP deficit. The fight is over.
Cream got interrupted out of his ult with the cease and desist. He ended up dead. Breathe with a great ult to finish up Jackie Love. Get vengeance for the top side engage on his own health bar. Now you've got a 2-0 Sion. Cutting him down is going to be menace. Light as well is well ahead. Early Berserk Greaves, 2 kills. Engaged from Hung. Flashed away from. Did burn the quickness, but that didn't land.
It's just a minute until the Dragon. Remember, there's a very powerful set of players here for Weibo now.
Decimating smash on 2, but the turnaround is brutal. Bailout is good onto TM, but he won't get the heal. Kanavi will call the pack. Crisp in danger, throws down the heal, but he's about to be burned to his namesake. Getting some decent healing is Neferi, but it's still not to keep the life. Cream low, gets stuff adjusted, but Light pulls out the spears. Turns out that's not bad into Stone in the long run. Jacula staying alive for a second, but it's a triple kill to Light. Make it the Quadra. Where the hell is the Ornn? He's reset and got off the map.
And folks, it's a Wednesday, but I think it's the weekend because they just got blinded by the light. Quadra kill on the Kalista. Top Esports losing 4 kills in 2 separate fights. Like, shut up, Sam. It's a great joke. You can complain about it later. And Weibo can use that to roll into the Dragon on the bot side of the map.
Oh my god, he went there. All right, let's have a look again, because it starts with Hung looking for a pick and can't quite land it. And then I thought, honestly, Kanavi started getting a couple kills. I think it looks pretty dicey.
For sure. But then you look at Light, who's been stacking up the lethal tempo ever since this point. The damage goes onto the jungler, and it goes onto the support. You still have a Sion, who actually has very high base damages at this point, and buys a lot of space for the Kalista, and the Kalista has a full stacked lethal tempo, going through the Ren sets, making sure he gets a reset on each of them, flashes past the feathers. Yes, the knockup comes through, but the damage is done. Kalista's rolling. Kalista is now unstoppable. That's a 6-kill Kalista. Dragon on the table.
Oh,
Weibo should claim that. Now we have that question again. First Dragon going well. We thought, okay, first flag passed. They've done that well. Then they started getting the early fights as well. And now with the second Dragon, this is a green light composition for Weibo. They are online.
All systems go. Blade of the Ruin King in. Upgraded Berserk Greaves. This Kalista's going to be a problem. Xiaohu now potentially going to try and catch out Hung here, who does get over the wall. Will be able to potentially battle down towards Kanavi. Gets the quickness down initially. Needs to find a hand out, but gets cease and desisted. Can't get in range, as it's not the Xayah, so the extended range not there.
Kill onto the Rakan as he goes a little too far. Hung having a harder game of it this time. Good smite from Kanavi. 3 seconds back to but there's a great Renato all over the wall.
Oh boy, I don't think it's going to matter. The call of the back is good. Tien gets bailed out briefly, but it's a reset. Light doesn't get jumped off because Xiaohu interrupts it with the charm. There's nowhere really, I think, for Kanavi to go. We'll get a little damage down onto the Ahri. Looking for some Darkin daggers. Can't eviscerate forwards, and they do eventually bring that one down. Bot side Cream gets jumped on by Breathe, but is clearing out the way best he can.
Ends up being a trade of junglers. Kill over towards the Ahri, who gets 6 stacks on the Dark Seal now. That's nasty. I really want him to go towards the Leandri's build again in this game, by the way. We've seen a lot of Ahri players move away from it, but I think it has a lot of value here against so many HP stackers. And Xiaohu is a good player of the slow burn build before. And the big problem is, Top Esports, I just don't think they're reaching the Kalista in the right kind of times. The Kalista is too powerful now. The problem is with the Kalista Renata, if the Kalista gets ahead, it's not enough to kill the Kalista the first time. And when they're fed, they will often turn around for a kill in the duration of the bailout. Top Esports have got an uphill battle to fight now. 4,000 gold behind, objectives behind, and their primary target, the Kalista, is not an easy one to deal with. How do you get into the play, kill them, and then get out? That is a hard task.
The answer is you don't. Hung trying to do his best to battle wall here. And when you've got the Xayah around and you're quick enough with your E press, you can theoretically just bounce out to safety.
I just love how this is the... Hang on a second, this is a great shot. Impressive there from Shouty. I love how we talked a lot of smack about Weibo's drafting it, guys. You just picked a Vi, Ahri into a Naafiri with W, a Xayah with ults, and then also the Galio ult too. Shouty does have ult, does have flash. Can he get out safely?
Still got another charge up with mid lane, looking at light, gets a redemption, jumps on top of him, that's really good value. Redemption heal, he should surely go down. Bailout, bailout, it's enough. The company survived with the influx of cash.
The Bank of Crisp delivers financial aid at just the right time. 8 kills for the Kalista. What was the thing we were saying? How do you kill the Kalista and then get out? Well, the answer is you don't. So close. A flash used by JackeyLove to get onto him, and it wasn't enough. They lose another couple of kills. They'll lose the turret in mid lane. Cream's gonna get forced out of top lane as well. He's in danger.
Gets his Justice Punch interrupted. The Orb of Deception, true damage would have been enough. He had to flash it.
And he did. Top East was falling apart across the board. The early game comp from Weibo, I mean, forgive me, I was not familiar with their game. They've managed to play through the early fight so well. They have threaded the needle. This is not an easy comp to play against top esports. If they hadn't got these early fights, I think it would have been so harder if we reached this point in the game on even footing, but that just hasn't been the case. JackeyLove flashed forward, trying to give an extended engage range towards Hung, which he does use, but Crisp is on the roam, and just about, with the redemption, with the bailout coming through as well, gets the value that they need to make sure the bailout lands and the double kill comes through. So close, and no Kalista.
Just look at the excitement there. Stressed again. 0-2 down. Weibo pulled off a miracle the other day. Do it against the first seed. Crisp do it against his former team from this year.
Oh, surely Weibo don't reverse. Surely they don't. Even for Weibo, that would be a menace too far.
But this is LPL playoffs, baby. It's LPL summer playoffs.
I'm just saying.
Well, this is on the line.
2 years ago, I was in Xi'an casting the LPL finals and the regional qualifiers after. And the same conversations came around Weibo because they were just the would they, won't they team. I said a phrase there, which I feel has come back to haunt me and you over the years. Weibo Gaming, consistently inconsistent. Do I know what this team's going to do next? Fuck no. Do you know it? Not much better either. Weibo are a team which continually challenge your judgments of them for better and for worse. A wonderful team for entertainment purposes, but for the fans out there, I don't know how you deal with it.
I'm looking at Cream now as well, who's 2/3 of the CS of the RE. He's only got 100 farm in 16 minutes. He's gone towards a rocket belt build to be squishy as on top of all of this. This is looking tough here. Your front line isn't. It's more like a front suggestion.
Front scribble.
Yeah. It's like, you know, those children's finger paintings, you know? It's not really a straight line drawn with a ruler.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And on the other side, that is a 2-item Kalista.
I'm reminded that the 2-item Spike of Kalista was buffed not too long ago with the AP ratio added to E, which means that it does benefit from the Rage Blade. Dragon will be taken, that will be Cloud's soul point, and look, any soul for Weibo is an important one. Actually, the Cloud is really naturally trying to walk away from Blade. Galio is going to particularly hate going into a play and walking out of it. Again, just makes it so much harder to retreat from the play.
Trying to get the shield around, chunk down, but Cream again does nothing. This game will get decimating smash. I actually think he needs to be careful. I think he might end up getting forced back a little there. Mid lane turret has fallen, so I think Jackie can't stay in lane because the Kalista will run you down. The mobility, the consistent DPS is just way too high, and the healing at this point, you've got enough sustain to not be threatened by burst.
Herald used on the bot lane outer turret because the other outer turrets are gone. Where's that charge going? Is that going to... okay, the rest of the team is coming in. This should be a safe charge. I did wonder whether there would be a knock-up ready waiting for 3 time, but no Galio in range. Put the charge into the bot lane in a turret, remove some HP there. No Dragon for 4 minutes. Weibo, they are so far ahead. They are so far ahead. And top esports, I don't get how they win this game now. They will have to win through some massive missteps from Weibo. They don't have a Dragon to sneak to get them a soul point. Perhaps an Atakan from. That's the nature of the meta for this year. It has been. Occasionally, you can just lose a game at Atakan.
Allow me to stick on my really poorly applied clown makeup and go, it's simple. You kill the Batman, and that's what you have to do. You gotta kill Kalista. So, like, if you can kill Kalista before a fight, make it a 5v4, just the fight's a bit one.
You want to know how I got these flowers? Killing the Atacard.
Yeah. Atacard Asylum.
You know, my partner's never watched the Dark Knight trilogy before. I really need to get them sat down and watch that, actually.
I need to watch the new Batman movie.
Yeah, I heard that's great.
Yeah, and the new Superman one.
The thing which somewhat annoys me, because no, not that I want to gatekeep. It kind of gave a renaissance to Something in the Way by Nirvana, which is one of my favorite Nirvana songs. But Nirvana are one of my very favorite bands. And that movie is like, oh, I've heard this song. It gets my way, definitely not. It's still the blue one. And I'm like, my guys, you could have just listened to Nirvana before this. It's been a good time. It was a good song before Batman, by the way.
There's a whole you're a generation ahead, Alex. They won't have heard all these songs.
Oh, don't call me
And if I say, I hate to do it to you, but you know, like, is it really their most famous song?
No, it's not, but it's a very good song.
It is.
You know, there was famously a gig where their support act was like very unfairly heckled. So Nirvana then just went on stage and played none of their big hits.
So they went and played Something in the Way.
No, well, they played all of their B-sides and stuff, which is not Something in the Way.
For the record, Something in the Way is not a B-side. It's one of their biggest songs.
It's actually very big.
Yeah.
Look, it was on Nevermind. It's a huge song. Any song on that album is. Dragon's up in 2.5 minutes now. Timer ticking down. I don't know how Top Esports is going to approach this one. They are a very good objective-based team. Can they get enough damage onto the Callista, through the Renata ult, through the bailout? Can they separate someone away from the team and kill them? With no Lord Dominate's regards on Jacula, very hard to do that toward the Scion.
He doesn't have a second item.
They're going to have to force some big cooldowns out of Weibo in the next minute. If they force that out there, maybe they can take a fight. W's not bad from Kanavi.
Need it. Jackie also needs to reset and try and turn that zeal into something that is not a zeal. In they go on the other side, though. Tien jumps on. Wait, that's a dead Kanavi. Good chunk up back as Tien has to flash away. Xiaohu also low. On the other wide, Bree is keeping Jackie and Hung busy. They try to go in. They do get the knockup. That's an important kill. Bailout is not going to be needed there at the moment. As the hostile takeover came on board, Bree flashes on forward and roars. Slayer he is, and they'll lose Hung as well. It's a 2-for-1. Jungler for jungler, but Hung is also traded.
And Breathe is unkillable. That is the real problem blocking Top Esports in that fight. Look at the HP that Sion has. That is a full fight of tanking the Xayah. Atakan is alive and available. Charm onto Cream, and this is not a tanky Galio. He'll have to retreat and teleport back in. There is no smite from Weibo, but they do have a rend if they do want to really force down the objective.
Jackie's back out, still doesn't have a second item. He's got double daggers in the dream. Xiaohu got chunked really hard there. We'll have a look at the replay because it starts with Kanavi getting jumped.
That's a good W. That's one of the reasons we were worried actually about them by Ahri into the Natiri and the Xayah. There's a lot of ways to disengage the point. It's like combo actually. He walks back again, ults over the wall. You think, okay, well, this is under turret, right? Vi Ahri is a combo, not just the Vi. There's a Fox following them into the play. Turnaround's not bad. Tien does very nearly die on the buy hit, but then this is where the problem really comes in. That fight, I suppose, a bit even. Jacula cannot do anything about the Scion. He is hitting the Scion for the grand majority of this fight, and Breathe does not give a damn.
Flash is blurned into fairly key locations, I'll note. Crisp, Light, Tien, Breathe, all down theirs. The problem, of course, is that Hung and Jackie are also missing those. Second time just got done for Jacula. There's the Flicker Blades. Xiaohu. Not face checking yet. All upgrades coming in for Jackie Love. He's just got an upgraded Essence Reaver.
Yeah, Weibo, I guess they feel like they want to take the Atakan a bit more again.
Oh, dear.
Xiaohu on the flank. Ornn gets shanked, chunked out. Tries to focus from Xiaohu. 369 taking more damage than I thought he would there, actually.
Fair amount. They get the knock on the Breathe, but again, he just doesn't take damage right now. Oh, goodbye, 369. Tries to flash, still gets knocked up. In comes the onslaught full onslaught. And the hostile takeover. Will make sure that Jackie has to ult, gets the feathers in the choke point. Gonna continue trying to hunt for some more, but all the while Jackie's going to 1v3. The damage is surely gone. There's a bailout for Light, and he gets to reset.
The damage is not there for Top Esports. As Weibo flip them under the table. They're on top now. Hung, their old support, will hit the deck with them. And Weibo mount themselves a good game 3. Not to be completely locked out in this series. 9,000 gold ahead, about to get themselves the Cloud Soul, and indeed they get it there. A flash over the wall, a charm from Xiaohu. Kanavi will join his brethren and the rest of the pack in the sepia screen. Weibo crushing through this game. They're yet to lose a fight.
It's been very one-sided, hasn't it? Early lane priority. That skirmish that got Light all the way up to 6 kills. He's got 3 items. Have a look at the replay again, because it starts with 369 trying to do what he can to ward off Xiaohu, and this without Leandri's build still makes 369 suffer.
Yeah, just manages to land all the skill shots. 369 just not tanking yet. The charm is immune a little bit by the W, but the charm still lands a little bit afterwards. Xiaohu has multiple points in the E. That's an important thing, by the way. That wouldn't happen if he hadn't leveled enough points in his charm a little bit earlier. Sometimes you do. Xiaohu is one of the guys that tandem maxes W, and he actually put multiple points. And we were talking about how do you kill the Callista, Renato, when they're this far ahead with lacking damage? The answer is you don't. The bailout always makes it so much of an issue. Medjay is now built up for Xiaohu. Go on, my son. Fight in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, jumps on Navi, who will call the pack briefly, but unfortunately they're immediately impounded. Straight back to the city's care.
I'm just saying, I would have left them alive so Ari could come in and get the Medjay stacks. These small optimizations. You can work on this stuff, folks. You call it ego, I call it efficient gameplay. Tian might just walk into 369. I suppose the other way around. Ari pushing out top side of the map, teleporting in. Toppies was having to defend now, a member down. This game is so unplayable. And Weibo, when you believe in them least, that's when they strike the hardest.
Onto the turret they go. It is being smacked down. Jackie does negative damage to Breeze, who cannot break the shield.
I mean, they don't have any pen. They have 0 pen on their team besides a Black Cleaver on the person who is dead. Dog dead.
Dog days are over.
Dog days, well, I mean, they've started again just now, but I'm not sure they'll last that much more. I have to schedule in another day for them. Xiaohu safely able to push out this top side of top esports. I just wonder whether they should have avoided some more of those early game fights. The 2 4-kill fights in a row at the Grubs and then that Dragon were just awful for top esports. I wonder whether they should have just waited out a little bit of the early spike, took what they could get, and then play around their normally very good objective play after that point. Weibo, real credit to them, making Callista Ronaldo work in a way that most teams globally have not been able to.
They draft it when their backs are against the wall. Now their backs are a little bit further away from it. It's not done yet. All but 11,000 gold in the lead. Teleport's coming on in. Weibo swarming top esports red side jungle. Where all of that vision. Hung burns the ghost. He could just so kill him. Oh, the charm lands, and that's a hostile takeover. It's going to force the Orb to start smacking his own support. Galio is dead. Into the enemy base they go. They kill off Konami. Jackie in a 1v2. Trying to throw out the feathers. A flash over them. Ensures another kill. And Ari gets a few more stacks for the Medjay. Up to 24.
Weibo crush through game 3, not to be completely wiped here. Top esports destroyed them in the first 2 games, despite Weibo having a good early game looking here or there. Weibo, reminder, they just took down anyone's legend, our defending champions. Top esports, they're our first seed coming out of regular season. Did we believe in Weibo? No. Does that change anything about this team? Absolutely not. When you found this team out, they strike the hardest, and they mount themselves a hell of a game here. 15,000 gold ahead. Well, are we going to see a 20,000 gold deficit by the time the game ends?
Might well be one of those fabled options. We don't see it very often at all. Over the wall comes Xiaohu, gets the charm, and Cream just has not had fun this game. Really, really hasn't.
Replay of this. I mean, this is a bit of a victory right now. Now, they realistically don't have the damage on Xayah to kill the front line, so they can't separate them out, and they don't have the damage to dive onto the... Just even the Grumps. You know, that's so mean. Xiaohu's almost at the death cap as well, and at that point, it's just, you know, one-shot city.
We've got 42 petals, Atakan, a 16,500 gold lead or so. Cloud Soul, Baron. It's about as dominant a game as you could ask for. Nearly a death cap for the Ari.
Yeah.
But a tier 2 between them and another inhibitor turret.
The hardest thing is actually picking an MVP for this game. You know? Is it Chris for his clutch bailouts? Is it Light for his crazy micro on the Callista? Yes, who's set up for his team. To catch in the mid lane, there's a GA on the Vi, though. That's not necessarily the easiest person to go towards.
Oh my days, the Orb of Deception is anything but deceptive. That was very blunt indeed. In goes Light with the rest of the team. The knock-up set up Callista to move to 15 kills deep. They need 1,000 more gold somewhere on the line to make sure they are at that decisive, destructive statement of a 20,000 gold lead. They are finally over it.
Weibo Gaming do not go quietly into the night. And with a draft we had questions of, we raised eyebrows of. They've gone up our foreheads for another reason, because hot damn did they deliver.
Weibo go down 0-2, all hope is lost, and they win a game with a 20,000 gold lead funded by the bank of Renata. Kalista Renata, rarely seen winning these days. Weibo pulling that one out and showing it so well. Perhaps the power of the green jersey. We thought it was a debuff. Oof, perhaps not. Weibo, I can't believe that game came out. You would not believe that game came a 0-2 down game between Weibo and Top Esports. It just does not make sense, and that's exactly where Weibo get you. It's exactly where they get you. It doesn't make sense. That's where they're most powerful.
Look, all I'm saying is they drafted a really fragile, really narrow win condition comp and executed it so well. A Renata Glass cannon comp, if you will.
That's very clever, Sim. It's very clever. That's very good, Sim. Okay, folks, I'm actually going to have to head off because I've got some plans which are happening in about 20 minutes, and I gotta go meet someone. Sam, you happy to finish? I am. Obviously, finish off the last 2 games, of course. Of course, we're getting 5 now.
Of course we are. Yeah, that's the one. I will ensure that's the case. I will be ready to go.
Okay, and yeah, we'll head on to a quick break, play some adverts, and well, I guess why are our pre-rolls so high? I mean, I guess that game was quicker. Yeah, I mean, the pre-roll, I mean, the game was pretty damn quick.
It was.
I just didn't expect that out of Weibo, especially with, you know, Top Esports destroying the game so quickly, or so definitively in the previous games. 20,000 gold lead, that just doesn't happen. Ridiculous.
It's pretty damn nasty. All right, folks, if you have not done the following things, you must follow the channels and us on social media. That is YouTube, that is Twitch, that is Anivia's YouTube. If you have not, make sure you are following us on things like Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. Those things that help us get jobs, which is quite important. We need those follower numbers, please. Number 3, if you have not, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps support us do the things we do. And on top of that, you can donate via Ko-fi or join us on League Mastery, where we're providing a casting course for those who care. And it's a really cool sponsorship and partnership with our Hedon, which is pretty damn awesome. Before you leave, Al, do you mind just copying those across to the other 2 YouTube chats?
Oopsies. Okay, and we'll play some adverts, and we'll go into the break.
Let's get down to business to decide MVP. That's actually really good from Xiao Hu damage-wise. I mean, a lot of that's into hitting cream a lot.
Yeah, he was saying the solo laners, which are HP stackers, so, you know.
Realistically, I think it is Light, isn't it? I think you can make an argument for Crisp. It's Light or Crisp. They both played well, but I think Light took the Kalista, ran with it, had a very good game, didn't die, team fought well. Style on the micro. It probably goes Light 1, Crisp 2, Xiao Hu 3.
Yeah, I actually don't know who in the MVP. Oh, MVP, I mean, I actually think Crisp, maybe. The bailouts are really clutch.
They were really clutch.
I don't know. It's a hard choice, actually. Gosh. Yeah, T1 DK is apparently going very, very close. So
yeah, I've been keeping my eye on some of the results. Looks like it's
so yeah. Try not to spoil it in chat over for other people, because some other people might be watching it on the other screen. So, I mean, sure, get hyped. I don't know. I mean, like, some people are complaining about the spoilers on chat. So, be mindful. It is a hell of a good series. Actually, you know, Breathe was super good.
He was really good.
I actually wonder if Breathe gets it.
Yeah, his front was really good.
He was super good. His drifting was insane. It's unkillable, actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like bot lane played really well, top lane played really well. I mean, they all played quite well. I think Breathe became such a problematic front line and really messed with Jackie and Hung. It probably is something like, actually, Light, Breathe, Crisp, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in terms of, like...
But also, I don't know, man.
This was so clutch with the redemption, the flash bailout.
I just can't believe... I can't believe that. No, I can't believe that Weibo did it again. I fell for it again. I completely counted Weibo out and they did something funny.
Every time.
Weibo are just not a serious League of Legends team, and they will forever punish me for not realizing that. What a team. Yeah, and honestly, from Breathe, considering that he's had a pretty poor split, I don't think he was great in the last series either. Really good to see him have a better game. Okay, folks, I'm going to head off. I've got to get ready and then go meet a friend.
Go forth.
And then we'll, yeah.
we'll see what happens in the rest of the series. Alright, folks, our feed is in. Let's see if we bizzle.
I'll move this chair out while I have the opportunity. Actually, I might take it out. That's fine. That's fine. I guess I'll turn the camera off. And I shall look after you all, chat. It's you and me now.
He says, no, that's not very good. Take it or not. It's not the principle, really.
Yeah. I can never remember the whole set of lyrics, but it is very entertaining. We're in good company. That's the plan. That's the plan. Oh, 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 oh. Getting ready for game 4. Here's our MVP. It is Light, in fairness. 1509, 7,000 gold up. I mean, you really can't. Sam, question, do you like roguelike deck builders? I do. I do. Though I will say Alex has been a big roguelike player for a very long time. So if you're looking for the person who really delves into roguelike, it's Alex. I did a fair amount of Hades. I did a bit of Slay the Spire and stuff.
Around the time of Defect release on Slay the Spire, I was getting pretty Well, okay. I would basically just like point flip my way to top 100s on dailies on Slay the Spire. Oh, what a damn good... what a good fight.
Yeah.
Insane replay. But yeah, I did a lot of Slay the Spire back then. In fact, I was actually just watching a video on infinite combos in endless mode in Slay the Spire. Because you can get to level 1000 with certain builds. Kind of insane. Got a present for both of you? Jesus, cool.
Oh!
Nice.
Excited. Can Casey make it out of lower bracket, or are they fully cooked? Carmine Core have run into the new team sophomore slump issue, where teams have started strong, they've started strong, and they're not improved at the same rate as other teams in the league that don't have they don't have the same systems in place, the same patterns and framework to improve within yet. A lot of these newer players, and it has hurt them when teams like G2, who have got that in spades, have started to accelerate passing because they were the best team in the league and everyone else has learned off them, and they've not managed to improve at the same rates. They can still do it, but they have got some serious issues to work out, because basically if Kana doesn't absolutely snowball, they look a lot more mortal. Yike, some of the issues that were plaguing him on G2 that people brushed off at the beginning of the year because he was playing really, really well again, are rearing their heads a little bit again in terms of some of the champion pool issues, some of the playstyle issues. We are seeing some issues with Kalist not being as lane dominant, not being as comfortable with some of the more meta champions right now. say that loosely. He's not bad, right? But you know, he's not being as dominant as he once was.
I think the 2v2 from Glist is okay.
Yeah.
I actually think it's the late game positioning which has been a bit more sus.
Which is crazy because of what he was good at earlier in the split.
Think of the game versus G2 when he was playing the Zeri and he just gets caught hopping over a wall.
Yeah, so true. I see you.
Against Vitality, he had a similar thing on the Sivir. That one feels a little bit worse because, like, I mean, it feels worse because Vladdy's doing a good job of carrying as well. So it's all on Kalist, really.
And so the team just knows to shut him down. It's hard, yeah.
Traditional carries in the mid and bot, obviously Kanna's in there too. But realistically, like, Kalist has to pull more weight than he did. And when he makes mistakes,
I'm gonna head off and enjoy the rest of the series.
That's it. So the answer is yes, they can still do fine in the lower bracket. But Vladdy needs to step up, and if they're not playing through Vladdy, then they need to make sure Kanna's an additional threat, because if they're not going to find it in jungle, they're not going to find it in mid, and that's problematic in the current meta. And now other teams starting to play against KC. Yeah, that's exactly, that's part of it. Like other teams now know this team a lot better. And they go, okay, how do we deal with mid-jungle? Fine. Actually, Kalist does these kind of things. We can pick him up a bit. Was that the milk found in Arcane? I think so, yes. They do contribute in terms of your ability to get to, I think it's regional finals, I forget the exact term. But it's not a guarantee, is the key thing. It's not a guarantee. Three 3-1 or 3-2. I think it should still be Top Esports winning. They got a little bit flat-footed by the early snowball. They had a few skirmishes go wrong, and Weibo snowballed well. They are playing better as a team. I still think Top Esports are better overall, but I think a lot of the issues that we were seeing with Weibo have gotten better over playoffs. They look like a legitimate contender in a way that they weren't before. Xiaohu, Cam off, so you can see him turn the volume a little bit, so you can listen to it.
还是能玩到挺多有意思的英雄的。卡牌的这个英雄的话，因为它被动就是打钱的速度比较快嘛，然后比对面更容易出到3件套，然后有火炮的时候在正面是非常强的，然后在前期也能有一定的兑现能力，也能去影响到上下路，所以还是一个挺不错的选择的。Top 的话，我觉得他们个人实力都非常强吧，然后他们队伍的配置磨合也挺好的。上路的话就是主要防守去打团，然后下路跟中路的对线也能支撑卡纳比的入侵，所以打他们的话还是挺棘手的。对我的话，我觉得在对线方面可能能一瞬间提升多的东西比较少吧，然后就可能要把对线期的英雄给整理好，然后尽量选到一些优势英雄，然后
Shahu saying anything interesting, folks?
处理及拉扯方面要做得再好一点。
Our Fnatic legit still feels like they are very inconsistent in the top lane. Agreed. Like Razork, but he goes too deep. I'm like, you've got a team with Oscar in it and Razork and Mickey X on it. That, at its worst, is going to lead to some poor plays. It just will. It's an unfortunate statement of truth, but that's just the way it is. I still think they're pretty good. I still think Upset is a very dangerous carry. I think they will be in with a very solid shot of making Worlds. But, again, we are looking at players who we know what their characteristics are for better and for worse. And while they've got a lot of very strong qualities, they really do, they are not without their own failings. Here we go. Drafting coming. Drop the volume a little. There we go. I'll stick the headphones on as well so I can listen. So, Twisted Fate banned by Top Esports away from Xiaohu. Had a good game on it to win a clutch game 5 against anyone's legend. Poppy, Talia also off. Azir, Akali, Renekton off the table. Talia still banned. Is that Pantheon first pick then? I think it might be. Trundle surely has to be the response then. Ambessa Trundle. Showmaker Tryndamere. Oh my. Okay, that gets interesting. Well, looking forward to watching that game later. Game behind right now in Top Esports v Weibo. Morgana. Banned out last time, locked in here. Most likely for the jungle. Yeah, Zarif, good to see you. Yorick being a consideration now for Top Esports to no matchup into the Ambessa. Used to be a lot more Yorick flavoured. Yorick favoured. Tastes like corpse. Less so now with the nerfs that have gone the way of Yorick in particular. Victor for Cream. Arguably one of his better mages, actually. Wei, though. Wei and Karma were his two. But they'll go towards the Victor. Better into some of the dive and pick. We need a jungle here. If you don't pick the Trundle now, it will get banned. But actually, why would you do that when you've got the Morgana? I take that back somewhat then. Mid laner. Oh, or lock the Trundle and move the Morgana elsewhere. We are now assuming Morgana supports. Unless there's some really weird shenanigans with like Ambessa mid and Trundle top. Once upon a time, Trundle was a support. Weibo are cooking here. Assumption right now. Trundle jungle, Ambessa top, Morgana somewhere like bot, maybe mid lane. But it's been a long time since we've seen solo lane Morgana. $369 is probably he's playing the Yorick, right? Mid still better than support, you reckon, Mabby? That was my initial impression too. AD carries now being very hard focused. Jin. And Misfortune down. Jackie, one of the few Misfortunes I trust in the league right now. Varus. Again, a notable ban. Does tend to slide the way through towards second phase these days. At one point was a must ban first 3. A lot more flexible now. Was the Ezreal ban away from light? We are quite thin on the ground now in terms of AD carries. Sivers down. Zeri angle, potentially, if you need the carry. What else could we be looking at? Leona. Corky's already gone. We're looking at something vaguely self-sufficient here. Caitlyn, a consideration at this point as well. Jaculov, of course, famously a Draven player. We see vanishingly little of it now. Vanishingly little of it. Morgana for light. I mean, Morgana's got to go somewhere now because you've locked the Leona. So, it's not Trundle support. Is it? Is it Morgana APC? I mean, to be fair, Leona binding or Leona route into Morgana binding would do it. It's a brutal CC chain. Zeri locked in for Jaculov. Okay, Weibo. Where are we moving things? Aphelios for the carry angle. You've got a black shield to help keep him safe. Is it Morgana mid for Xiaohu? Vayne? Vayne? It's the light Vayne? It's been a while. Tried it the other series, couldn't quite make it work. So I think, folks, Weibo have just locked Ambessa top, Trundle jungle, Morgana mid, Vayne bot. Okay, top esports comp's a lot easier to pass. We'll do that bit first because we're going to have to do some theory crafting here for Weibo Gaming. You've got yourself skirmishing, Pantheon, Rel, engaged to set up for Victor Zeri to team fight. Yorik's a split push win condition. You've got a global to play towards the Yorick. 1-4 split, good team fighting, great scaling. Simple. The piratical music is required because I feel like Weibo may have gone on the high seas and come back with something a bit weird, folks. Morgana mid, folks. To the riff we go. For our 4th time today. Morgana mid, Vayne ADC, crowd's yelling. Oh, mid lane, flash already, shield vault. Xiao who has to flash in turn. Actually, it was just Xiao that had to flash, so hold on to that. That's pretty good. Morgana vulnerable to ganks if she
Doesn't have that flash. Black Shield saves you to some extent. Light 6th gain of Vayne all time. 2 and 3 on it. First Vayne this split. Okay. So, Light on a beautiful looking skill. Is that the, that's not the Uzi skin, is it? That looks like it's the Sentinel Light one. Last Vayne game was Uzi. Oh my god. So, what's the thought process of the Vayne here? Hook. Zenith Blade, I suppose. So, sword. Chunk onto Hunk. Not that much more. You have got 3 melees and a short range AD carry, with which the Vayne can duel. Trundle, Ambessa, Leona to cause some chaos for the Vayne to work with. A Black Shield to keep them safe. You are still short range as a Vayne into a Pantheon, a Yorick. And a double hyper carry and a Victor and a Zeri. So, Light's going to have to deliver here. Not a straightforward Vayne game. It's like you're into Scions and Orns and the traditional tanks that Silver Bolts are normally so famously good against. You can kick some of the engage away. Is running cleanse. Maybe get a McHale. We'll have Black Shield, as we've said. Xiaohu 0-1 on the Morgana. Has played it, though. The Morgana again. Theoretically just gets to shove in. We thought it was going to be a jungle option. It's been the way a lot of people have been throwing it. Beichuan had a good game on it for BLG in their victory the other day. How many games of Morgana has Xiaohu got across his career? 2. 0% win rate. 3rd game of all time. Not exactly a specialty pick. Lost in the game versus AL. 0-4-3. Trying it again here. Not sure what that matchup was there, actually. Engage towards the bot side. Light going to the cleanse. Gets to stay alive as Hung went looking for the flash engage. Heal cleanse down. Knavi now looking to get inside and put down a ward. That was into Shanks on Kassadin, by the way. Kassadin for V Morgana. God bless. But Weibo have decided again to do a bit of cooking. They have been willing to do that across playoffs. See whether it pays off. They are realistically going to want an early Kraken Slayer probably for the Vayne. Wants that attack speed pretty handily. Wants to cycle through those Silver Vaults as possible, much possible. Could Blade of the Ruin King and some of the HP stackers of like the Pantheon, the Realm, the Yorick, even the Victor to an extent, who does love like the Roa builds. Tomato, just be a little careful with spoilers. Don't worry about it. I know people are excited about the other series that's happening right now. I know it's a Game 5 over in the LCK, and that's pretty exciting. But if we can be excited without offering spoilers, that will be important. Gentle reminder on that one. Top side, breathe. Being shoved in early. Again,
feel free to be excited. It's not a problem. Top got everything meta while Weibo picked off meta and wow. Yeah, they could be a lot of fun. They get the early call for Cull. Breathe needs to be a little bit careful there, actually. Has yet to TP, but then again, neither is 369. Doran's shield and a biscuit should make them safer than you think. And of course, 369 very low on mana right now. Can theoretically throw out the Morning Mist and summon some of those Mistwalkers 10 minutes in. Oh, baby. TN's around. Little Slugger Trump. Oh, flash, shield vault! Comet Spear secures it and Breathe. Too greedy sticking around on that HP. Blink of an eye, he dies. Xiaohu's flash is back up. But hasn't really been able to get around the map very well because again with the flash being down, not easy to threaten in the lane. Been trading well so far. Comet for Comet there by the by. Teleport coming top side now. 369 might be a danger who has TP'd in himself. Goes down the dark concession. Is likely going to lose his maiden here though. Pulling away as fast as it can and can't. Yorick no wife. On a long cooldown this early in the game. Rubs looking like they will go the way of Weibo Gaming at this point. Doesn't look like with the way swaps have worked out. Timings that Top Esports are all that bothered about contesting too aggressively here. Like some of these this vision control. Maybe the last grub if TN overstays. Good dark binding, but Kanavi can step on forwards here. Shield Vault, Comet Spear, Smite available. TN will have to flash out the back of it and will, but 3 grubs secured. At cost of flash, another dark binding. Cream. Bit unfortunate. Solar Flare, Magnet Storm. Bradley Field is okay, but it's now a 3v2. Damage on the Xiaohu, who has run out of cooldowns, needs to flash away. Good dark pull though. As the Tormented Shadow into the public execution is a lot of damage. And Weibo Gaming come out of the rivers with 3 kills. Oh, Cream, why would you face check? Morganas do what Morganas are designed for. Hit the binding. And it all plays out from there. Now the gold lead is pretty handily in the way of Weibo Gaming. See Xiaohu tries to chunk him and just eats the binding. You didn't know where the rest of the team was. You have to think about flashing there. The Magnet Storm is solid enough, but without Cream alive, the damage is always going to be limited. Xiaohu still had the flash. Another binding lands. Xiaohu's out. If Weibo bring us to Silver Scrapes from 0-2 down. A 1-2 of Ambessa Morgana. You go, Morgana jungle. And then they're not the trundle. He gets so weird out. Of course, it is Xiaohu. Played it before, not successfully, of course. This time, it's already better. Last game, he went 0-4-3 on the damn champ. You're still, of course, into Zeri, into Victor. Yorick scales well. I do prefer Top Esports team fighting as the game gets later. I do. The skirmishing will be dangerous. The setup for Vayne is still good, but if you get to 3 items, killing off the Zeri and the Victor, I think is going to be hard and straight front to backs. Public execution on top of 369. We lose about half his HP bar. We'll offer some last rites. The Maiden's dead again. Oh, just about alive. Breathe. wants to get in range. Sundering Slam will do it. 369. That's 2 maiden deaths now. It's very annoying. Fearless drafting has led to some weirder ones here. Game 4, backs against the wall again. Saw the Callista game last time. Flash onto Kanavi, throws out the Aegis ult. Crisp is now quite deep. The gravity field prevented too much follow-up. So Crisp ends up down the Solar Flare and the Flash, and Kanavi just goes, yeah, that might have been a bit far, mate. Jackie now needs to be a bit careful here. Crisp with the black shield on top gets to go very deep. Lightning crash though. Cream low. Just about falls. But look all the while at Jackie Love. Full auto as the burst fire continue to get pressed. Q, 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 Q. And I don't know how many answers Xiaohu has. It's not got a flash, not got a way to run. An extra last right to Dark Binding. The Morning Mist secures it. And all the dreams that Weibo were building started to come apart at the seams as the cold reality of a team fight the Top Esports win starts to come to fruition. That will be Dragon to Top Esports. 2 kills to boot. A little bit farther. Tried to play it with the Black Shield, but it just doesn't work. They don't have the Solar Flare. And Bester without the ult doesn't get to join as freely as possible. Nard's very quick to come and defend, and Cream just about gets alive. Hit that line, does go out for it. Maybe actually, did it end up being a 2-for-1? Forgot about Ambexa landing that last Sundering Slam. Not going to lie to you. Xiao starts to run. Doesn't have the flash, and we're really for the Maul Garden to go at this point. 369 is donated the kill. Morning Mist lands. 369 just needs to be a bit careful. West Top Esports are around, and Tweed's gone really deep for this. Looking for the Zenith blade, but Chris now gone very deep. Breathe publicly executes. Nice escape angle into the Hex Gate. Smooth extraction. Can't ask much better than that, can you? Looked a bit dicey for a second or two there. Reset from 369, heals back up, picks himself up a control ward, has got the Trinity Force at this point. Starts to change profile a little as a champion with that Triforce and the Steel Caps. Reset in the pit. Harold, 30 seconds. Weibo Gaming now around Cream. I don't know about this. Your face check earlier costs you a fight after the grubs. Doesn't overstep this time. Tormented Shadow. Picks that one up. Has to listen to Sonic again. That, for those uneducated, was a Sonic the Hedgehog reference. Herald charges forwards. Death Ray comes across. It's Hex Tech Ray, isn't it? The new name. 369 should smack this wave a little more. Does so. Slight lead to Top Esports. One objective separating that mark towards Vita's strength. Cream going to be hit by the Soul Shackles. Throws down his Chaos Storm, standing on top of that gravity field. On top of the Tormented Soul, just about out of range. Another Tormented Soul, though. Crisp is coming. Cream will be a dead man. The redemption kept Cream low. Jackie's here. Maybe he can look to punish more. Gets hit by the Zenith Blade. There's that much to punish. We'll start lightning crashing though. Grand Starfall can look at Chris, who doesn't have that much to work with until the flash comes on forward. Solar Flare cleansed from Jackie. Oh, the Comet Spear nearly takes Chris. Not quite enough damage. Does that end up being flash for cleanse and ult? Not the greatest, actually. A good kill for Xiaohu. Jackie will interrupt the back. Xiaohu will black shield himself, but does get interrupted nonetheless.
再来座坟墓如何？
Dragon, 50 seconds. Probably our next border call will decide feats of strength. Marker. If Weibo get it, that is the full feats of strength. Top Esports get it, it's down to turret. There was a world, actually. The Yorick or the split push from the Victor becomes a threat here towards that turret. The top lane turret is quite low. Similarly, actually, for Weibo in this bot side, but 369 is there to try and prevent that from happening. In resetting. 20 seconds on Dragon. Hex gates allow faster recalls and later resets in general. First item's largely done across the board. It is that Kraken Slayer for the Vayne Tunnel a second. See what she turns that into. I wonder if we might see a Hex Plate Vayne at some point. Feels like an item she'd love with changes. Goes. A little bit of a play. Solar Flare, only a stone to Kanavi. Shield vault in for the public execution. Lightning Crash comes off down. Kanavi dead. Nice pick. Defensive play not quite in time. Yorick roamed up, but not there. That does mean the objective. Weibo Gaming's Top Esports don't really have much to say about it. TP out. Cream interrupted on his teleport. Chris gone very deep for this. Magnet Storm after. Gravity Field comes on full. Dark Binding is wide. Flash over for the Soul Shackles. Jackie needs to flash out of them. And Xiaohu helps keep his support alive. Didn't take the dragon. Kind of thought they would. Still are. A little bit too worried about the health bars and the respawns, I guess. Grand Starfall would have allowed Pantheon to rejoin a fight very fast. Back to the replay. Tongue trying to hold position in here, but the Solar Flare slow. That's a fair amount of work. Konami just gets blasted. And with Hung being dismounted, can't Magnet Storm. Queen doesn't really have the damages yet. Back to life. Jackie gets caught. Must have been crisp with the Solar Flare. And a Dark Binding follow-up proving the death of the AD carry. Doesn't have the cleanse back up yet. Jackie dying in mid lane. It's happened once or twice. That will now be turret. So Weibo Gaming after. Nice rotation down. And feats of strength. Secure. There's the replay. Hex Flash, Solar Flare. Even in the middle of the wave, not safe. And no idea where Hung or Kanavi were, but not around mid is the answer. And now Weibo Gaming, up 2,000 gold. Do have feats of strength, by the way. The tracker at the top of the screen is broken. Also did get the dragon. So in fact, they did get the dragon. They have 2 dragons. They got first turret. The scoreboard at the top of the screen is slightly broken. Atakan now started. Weibo Gaming wanted to confirm the lead they have. Jackie here with double items though. Breathe with a potential angle for a public execution from across the Dragon Pit wall. Keep your eyes on it. Off the Atakan they pull. Hung now stepping forwards. Atakan resets. Herald going to get dropped into that turret. Should take it and does so. The mid lane goes down all the while in favor of Top Esports. Looks like it'll be a Ryalize for Xiaohu, but even more so off the Tormented Shadow. Very obnoxious for somewhat short-range comp. Solar Flare comes on in. Kanavi throws a Aegis on, but the CC chain is so annoying. Crisp, though, forced to flash out of all of the damage of the Dark Procession, and now actually with that flash out, the Top Esports think about starting up Atakan. No, more just the bot side wave. Was Lulu banned? No. It just went towards the engage option. Back to the old HUD. There we go. A little bit easier to track exactly where things are at. 3 grubs, 2 dragons. Next dragon will be spawning in X amount of time. So much CC. Yeah, there is quite a lot this game. But the combo of, theoretically, Morgana, Leona, very, very obnoxious. Hell, even Trundle Pillar into Silver Bolt Stun can be quite annoying. If you get caught by the pillar, the follow-up from Light can be very obnoxious. Vayne CC predicated by terrain. Let me create some for you. Breathe, shoving up to this tier 1. No response yet, actually. I think it's just for free. That is going to be a tier 1 TPing in. But with Yorick TPing top and Breathe with his own TP, they can look at Atakan again with a man advantage. Yorick's pulled away from the turret. That's just going to be Breathe right back at it. That turret is gone. Not really sure what 369 got out of that TP topside, honestly. Turret TP's up to leave, to give up the turret anyway. Delays it, I guess, by a wave, but that's all it is. Atakan started by Top Esports. Breathe is TPing in now. Na'Vi caught on the tormented soil. Ooh, my days gets back off it. The shock laser just wide. Na'Vi left a little low. May want to go heal up off the Krugs. Can rejoin with the Grand Starfall if necessary. Dark Possession. Splits off Crisp and Breathe. Dragon starting. Soul Point available for Weibo. They do shred through this pretty fast with the Vayne. With a Trundle. Atakan started on the other side. It's a double objective start. Soul Point secured by Weibo Gaming. Again, a possibility, but throwing some more wards down. Top Esports happy to play this slow currently. They want a second item on Cream. They'd love a third on Jackie. Hexplate was indeed the buy for the Vayne. We saw Light try it earlier on the Yunara unsuccessfully. More fine Lowers, more HP. Probably makes a bit more sense on Vayne than Yunara in my mind, actually. They've never been a Cret AD carry. Really. Jackie potentially about to get dove on here. Wards go down. That one in the river from Top Esports is providing a lot of value. Atakan started. Are they going to come and contest? Are they going to be there in time? The binding will chunk Jackie down by half, and they're not there. It might well be gone. 7,000 HP. Konami needs to TP in shortly. Jackie being zoned off by Xiaohu and Chris. There's the Grand Starfall. It will be the flip. Redemption coming on in. Who wins it? It is Konami. They overplay it. Can't deal with the Pantheon man drop. Flash out of the public execution tier, goes down to the shield bolt, to the Comet Spear. Jackie needs to flash, just about surviving. Breathe, not in a fight right now, hung low. As Jackie goes down to the tormented soil. They kill off the Morgana though. AD carry traded, 2 for 1 right now. Crisp and Light on the wrong side of the play, false start alteration. Shield bolt into the Aegis Assault. is a very dead bot lane. A double kill to Kanavi as he steals the Atakan. Stars come falling out of Weibo's constellations. Ill omens indeed. As Top Esports find the fight and the Atakan. Gold lead evens up. Jackie dies, yes. But so did 3 other members. In the end, it's effectively an ace, though. Breathe and TN respawn. TN with no flash and now no blast code. Getting into the pit will be next to impossible. Can maybe Hexgate over? Is that the dream? Has to be done perfectly. Can't do it. Now he's on the wrong side of the rift. There's only room for one jungler in town. TM throws the Mesa speed on out. Tormented Shadow. Oh, zone off. Top Esports from their mid-tier 1. They'll get that at least as a silver lining. But Atakan and Baron is a great moment for Top Esports. Jackie getting hit by that Dark Binding. He thought might be enough to zone people off, but Hung, Jackie trying to do enough to keep people busy, and Kanabi just gets to press R. Grand Starfield, Redemption Burst. Tien gets the smite down, but not in time. Kanabi certainly does. Breathe, gets a big chunk onto Jacula, who just about ends up burning out to the second. Tormented Soil ruled out. The problem is Weibo having to flash to the wrong side, can't Hexgate out. And the health buff's just better from Top Esports at that point. Gold lead over 1,000 now to Top Esports. Atakan is there. Cream pinned away by the pillar. In goes Kanavi. Tien now chunked out very low. Soul Shackles come on force. Kanavi may well end and rooted, but not quite. Now Cream turning around with the gravity field with the Arcane Storm. Crisp sped off, goes down. Jackie picks it up. He's got Infinity Edge. Zeri helping certify a moment or two. Another one for the yearbook. Their first kill of the game. And now the mid lane turret with Tien and Crisp down. 5v3. Their front line and a lot of their pick core off the board. Silver Scrapes looking more and more like bronze. Only a single game win for Weibo Gaming so far. They need this win. I don't think Top Esports are happy to give it to them. They've been so good around those objectives of Top Esports. This split. The Atakan snipe becoming so key. They pick themselves up a second dragon, deny Soul. Maiden stays alive. Breathe can't quite secure it, and not the best micro there, but now Breathe may well die for taking out the Maiden. The Ultra Shock laser comes across, and Breathe, who's been sniping Maidens all game, is punished for it by Top Esports collapsing. Trade an ult for that happily. Turret now under siege.
起来，然后重回这个世界。
In they go to the enemy base. Xiao Hu goes golden. Soul Shackles in, but he's dead. So I suppose the very least is Hung. But it's his whole team that he will happily see sent down to the lower bracket. Weibo. An impressive, a truly impressive run through playoffs. You thought with this one, with the cooking, with the Morgana mid, with the Bane, with a great early game, they might be sending us to Silver Scrapes, a back-to-back 5 games for them, but no. Top Esports too calm, too collected, too ruthless around the objectives. Kanabi drops out of the sky to steal Atakan. And with it full, Weibo's hopes of taking us to 5. Hello, Makaria. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome in. Shout out to Makaria, please, mods. Welcome on in, welcome on in. Oh, baby. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Been some great League of Legends today. Really, really, really. A raving for a top esports win is great. GG. How was PCS? Sure, LCP, were you streaming that today? Was it LCK you were on? I was hoping Morg would get the dub, but it was inevitable, I guess. Yeah, the Morg was doing really well until it wasn't. I think we saw the idea. Some really nasty CC chains, but they got Soul Point. They fumbled around the Atacant. It wasn't that. Top esports go to Worlds. Not quite. Not quite. No one is secured as yet. They get themselves a lot of circuit points. They get themselves a step towards upper bracket finals. They're guaranteed top 3 now. So at the very least, they have a great position in regional finals. A great amount of circuit points. They certainly put themselves in a great position to potentially win the split. What a throw from Weibo, but they did better than expected. I think that's probably a fair way of putting it. And top esports have always been very good around objectives this split. Last series was probably their worst look around objectives in a little while. LCK was also a banger, fantastic. Who gets MVP? Probably Kanavi, I think, after that Atakan steal. He'd be my go-to. Oh. Well, folks, thank you all for coming on in. Again, shout out to Makaria for that help out there. LCK and LPL should end at the same time, so now what do? You're gonna come watch me. I'll go stream for a bit is the honest answer. I'll want some quick errands while I will get ourselves set up for that. We'll see who MVP is. I'll go set up my own stream on my own PC in the other room. So my camera's going off, but we're still gonna be here. Don't worry about it. And I'll see you over my... Well, we've got the new Genshin patch, so I'll probably go play that for a bit. Thanks for the stream. We'll stick around. Don't worry. Oh.
Oh, we've got ourselves some highlights, do we? See who MVP was, shall we? Streaming on YouTube? Yes, we are also streaming on YouTube. I will be streaming on YouTube, so could you come say hello over there? Thank you very much for all the love and support. And again, guys, if you've not done so already, please do consider coming and supporting us with subscribing on Twitch, donating to the Ko-fi, or, of course, joining us on League Mastery for those of you who are interested in learning to cast or get better in broadcasting. We offer some amazing options there as well. Some really cool stuff. Make sure you have seen that League Mastery link that you will find in chat. Do see us over there. It is much appreciated. Until then, bye-bye. Ale faces IG. Oh, yes. Oh, baby. Oh, no. IG versus anyone's legend. That's a big one. That's a big one. Let's see who is going to be given the honor of MVP. MVP, Kanavi. Not a surprise, guys. He did do exceptionally well there. Critical steal. 5 in the regular season, 4 now in playoffs. Doing very, very well indeed. All right, folks. With that, I'm going to set up a raid for myself. Come say hello, Twitch viewers over there. It is always appreciated when that does come on over to say hello. And we'll make sure that starts to begin on happening. For the YouTube viewers, we'll bear you good night for now. Until next time, we're back tomorrow. And if those of you do want to come watch something a little different, come say hello to me. I'll be on YouTube at Initialise Cast as well as on the Twitch as well.